No, Gary, I'm a big fan of yours.
Gary, I told you you're not allowed here. Okay, I'm sorry. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a stream by the Crossroads. My name is Scott. This is Sporky News Podcast. And if you are new here because of shorts or watching our reviews, thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please do hit like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Hello, panel. Hello, chat. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. And let's introduce the panel. Wow, I sounded really professional just then, I think. I almost was like nervous. That sounded so good.
You scared yourself.
I scared myself. And who sent Gary the link? I had to kick him out. That was embarrassing. Jayne Theory, how are you?
Doing great. How are you guys?
I'm doing well.
Happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you, buddy. Thank you for being here. And we also have below Jayne, we have Mason from Freefolk of the Fandom.
What's up, everybody? Hail to the chat. Happy to be here. I really like this episode. I can't wait to get into talking about it.
Yeah, man. It's thank you for being here. It's getting better and better. And Zaxx, how are you? Zaxx. You, Mr.
That's the gimmick. That's the gimmick now, Scott. That's it.
Yes. We just got to go with it, I guess.
Let's do it.
We'll ride it till it just is wrong. Okay.
We'll ride it like Galadriel rides that horse.
Yeah. That was definitely a little wrong. That was a little wrong.
A little wrong.
They should have been smoking cigarettes by the time they got to the library.
Yep.
But how are you, man?
Doing great. Happy to be here. Like the episode, and having a good time.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. MrGrantGregory can't be here tonight and didn't update the intro, and I'm a little upset with him about that. But I barely pay him anything. I don't pay him at all, so he's good. He's a good guy. Boshk, the McFadden is here. We have Keely Chow in the house. Old school Keely. Joseph Dredd, who keeps us correct when it comes to A Song of Ice and Fire. I appreciate that. The Ginger Ninja, always here. Thank you for support. Tina Bojan, how are you? I saw Moon Knight was trending on Twitter, and I thought of you. E. Clay Thomason, how are you, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Katina, always good to see you. Who else? Eric K, one of the mods of mods. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Sherpa Shamo. Right? Sherpa Shamo. I don't know why I say it like that, but I think it's good. Hail chat. Thank you for being here. Is it Naya? Am I saying that right? Naya? Would you say it like that? Because Naya always has good things to say, so I want to make sure I get it right. Welcome. Lady Balefire. I like that. And
she's a new YouTuber. She started. She's my ringer in the chat.
Oh, okay. A new YouTuber though.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. Are you a mod by any chance? I think you are, right?
I am. Yeah,
share the link in the chat, so everyone can join in. Talking about links, Mason, where are you in subscribers?
I'm sitting at about I think it was 54 subs.
Okay, people, he needs to get to 100. I'm embarrassed to have him on the panel. Can you please subscribe to the man? God. Andy from Zombie Box Reviews, also another great channel, guys. We have so many people that are. I'm the YouTuber's YouTuber. Don't let Machismo tell you he's the one. I came up with that. All these YouTubers deserve your support. Everybody here is working hard. Some new, some old, some have been working a long time, needed just a little bit of a break. So help everybody out. Literally, I tell people subscribe me. You don't even have to watch. I don't care. I just need it for my ego boost. Cody Guy!
Subscribe and watch something else.
Just go somewhere else. I'm fine with that. Cody Guy in the house. Hello, how are you, my friend? Shane Nolan. All I do is streams and shorts now. That's it. That's all I have time for. Hail Lord Scott of House Spork. Thank you, my friend. Actually, it is House Spork. I got that right there. Boom. House Spork. I love that thing. I gotta hang it
awesome.
up. Yeah.
That is cool.
My wife's, when I hit 5,000, if I ever hit 5,000 subs, I'm going to redo this, make it a little more classy, take down all the comic books and stuff and just put up some more, to me, like more a Song of Ice and Fire type stuff. Not a song like that IP, but more like that feel. So that's what I'm going to go for. Yeah, I'm going to.
You're gonna put like some brick, some molding.
Something like some soot.
Make it so it looks like you're in a castle.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to have like, what are those sconces? Scones? Yeah, with like soot going up my wall. Yeah, that'd be great.
But Scott, no photos of relatives getting it on, right?
No,
I'm not doing that.
Not them.
You gotta have tapestries though.
Yeah, I mean, do second cousins. Anyways.
Depends on the state.
Yeah, it does depend on the state. Yeah, definitely. Those tapestries, they always come in. I mean, now they have like a gallery of tapestries, but we'll talk about that. But we got James in the house and so many more. Thank you, Keck. I got to say hello to Keck44. But let's get on with it, guys. Let's start zombie box reviews. 9 away from 100 subs, guys. I don't know if I've made zombie box
I'll get it.
Yeah.
He's a mod.
He should be a mod. I mean, I should mod all his stuff. Let's make sure we take care of Zombie Box. He's a great dude. And he's a good dude. Supports everybody. So let's talk about it. Jayne?
Yeah.
Give your basic idea of how you felt about this episode and give it a number up to 10, of course.
Okay. Yeah. I was really impressed with the complexity of the situations each character was in.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there's just so much more depth to them, even than to some degree what we got in Game of Thrones. I really enjoyed the episode. As usual, the actors doing an outstanding job. I'm just blown away.
Yeah.
I did not expect to enjoy it this much.
Patty again as the king.
Amazing.
There were so many subtle moments in this episode.
Yeah, the subtlety, they understand that concept, and I love it.
Which they don't even have to write it out for you, which blows my mind.
I know.
Blows my mind. They don't have to throw it in your face. They literally let you figure it out.
Right. And there's so many different perspectives too, and different points. Like a character may be arguing one. Okay, it's so much to talk about. We'll get to.
I
know. Okay, we'll get to it. But Alicent,
I even started to feel sad for Otto.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. I did not either. And that tells you, whoever they have, Ryan Condal, I knew loved the material. Yeah. I'm actually wondering, I know they did it together, but I'm wondering why Miguel left and Ryan's still there as the sole, showrunner. And I wonder if was it because he started getting that political stuff and this is finally a show just about the show, even though don't watch the after show because those they miss their own subtleties. I think
they do. They messed up. I think their perspective on Daemon was completely wrong.
And we're going to discuss that.
But I would give this an 8 out of 10.
Okay. I think I'm around there with you too. Mason, how about you?
I mean, yeah, I really liked this episode. It juggled so many characters and it didn't fumble with any of them. Mm-hmm. I thought it was quite amazing. King Viserys is really trying to dethrone Daemon as my favorite character. You see so much of the struggle and him trying to do something good, and then everybody just keeps piling on to him.
I mean, nonstop, dude. Nonstop. Every episode.
Yeah, I really liked this episode. There was quite a lot of the rated R stuff in this episode.
Yeah, well, the Ginger Ninja says here, King's Landing was a character in this episode. You know what I mean? The actual city itself, and I loved that we went into it. Good, but I'm sorry, please finish.
Yeah, no, I'd say probably about a 7 or so out of 10, just on an objective scale, but I definitely enjoyed it much more than that.
Yeah. Zach, what about you, man? What do you think of this episode?
I think it was a great episode. There wasn't a ton of action, but there didn't need to be. I thought they've really done such a good job of fleshing out the characters now that and changing them in subtle ways that you can see from everyone's point of view. Like really, Alicent is you could be on. In the book I was not on Team Alicent, but in this you could easily be on her team.
Yeah.
Otto as well, and yeah, the city. The good point about King's Landing, they made it a sort of a character, and the mummers I thought were interesting, and I thought that might be sort of a look at Mushroom, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Mushroom, dude. How do you not have Mushroom? Maybe when they're older, maybe it's the older they'll bring in Mushroom, but I
just
just
it would just be a background, like in the background, but not really a part of it, honestly.
Yeah.
So real quick, they had the so last episode you had Alicent say something like, "Oh, childbirth, it's not as bad as you think," to Rhaenyra,
right?
And then and it's kind of like,
gonna bring that
ouch.
up, yeah.
And then in this one, you have Rhaenyra saying like, "I don't want to just be squeezing out heirs." And then she kind of looks at her and is like, "Oh,
yeah,
I might have said something kind of hurtful."
Oh, you definitely you definitely stepped in it. But we're gonna go over it right now. I think I give it an 8 myself. I really enjoyed. I just enjoyed the subtlety. I enjoyed that they let us watch Alicent, not tell us how she felt. Just watch how she felt. And then oh god, we'll get to it.
And the actress did such a good job of conveying it.
Yeah, these young girls are so impressive. I wish we had them all season.
I do too.
Can we just paint some wrinkles on him or something? Like,
they wouldn't even, I mean, it's not even a huge time jump. They wouldn't even need to age them up that much.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, it's not like
they're in their 20s.
I was about to say it's not like they're even in their late 30s or anything. They're like their mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
And Alicent, I mean, Rhaenyra is so much, in the books, so much younger than Alicent. So I wish they kind of kept her, try to age her down, actually, so the actress could be, because
they're in that age range where they could play anything really from teenager to early 30s.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that they...
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But one more thing I want to say real quick.
No, please keep going.
I know I'm so excited. I loved how, how we get the different perspectives in the books, right? There's a bias here and there. I love how they're presenting it. You can see how those biases could evolve.
I was going to bring that up.
I love that so much.
Because we're told that this is the truth.
Right.
This isn't a third, unreliable narrator. This isn't somebody writing it for a king. This is supposed to be the truth. And you could see exactly why Rhaenyra got some of the, slanderous things they said about her. I mean, let's go through it though. Let's jump in because this was a fun episode.
My one downside was Daemon's haircut. That's minus a half a point for that haircut.
It looks weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't look platinum or blonde. It looks bleached.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are things that bothered me, but
the hair has always been an issue. I don't think I'll ever get over it. I just have to accept it because they're not going to do it right.
Right.
You're never going to give them or the elves the hair they're supposed to have.
Right.
But that haircut though.
Yeah.
When it's not a mess.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Okay.
Not bad.
I got to give a quick shout out to Toxic Man Flu in the chat. Love my man Toxic. Really good dude, great dad, good human being. Good to see you, buddy. I just want to say I wrote a tweet. Where were you on 9/11? On 9/11, because I felt like I woke up and there was like no tweets about 9/11. People were tweeting about random, and I was like, wow, this is the first year it felt like, did people forget? So I asked the question, and so many people wrote where they were. They remember exact moment, like most who were around do. And I just want to know, Tox, amen, brother. I love you. Just wanted to say I read it and it was powerful. Sorry, let's move on. Subscribe. This scene, Rhaenyra, man, this is what, and it's not a bad thing. It's more perfect, great not perfect, but great acting, great writing. She annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
When will she learn that it's a game? She has to play the role of the heir. I don't know. What do you guys think about? So I'll set it up. This is her meeting. She's on a like 2-month tour of Westeros, all to meet suitors. In every place she's going to meet dozen or at least dozen suitors. And what did you guys think of when she met them and pretty much belittled them and then walked out? Jayne, why don't you, anybody jump in?
To be fair, I mean, she's acting like a teenager, and you would think that she would have a certain level of maturity here, but she's still acting very much like a child because I think she feels conflicted, as we'll see in her conversation with Daemon, as to whether she even really wants this. At least that's what I got from it.
Right.
She says she does. She gets upset when people, suggest that she's not going to get the crown. But does she really want it? Is she really all in? And I have to wonder from her behavior.
Right.
But the other thing too is people being presented to her. Like you would think these houses would have looked for the very best to present, and I
Old,
feel like
young.
they're not.
Okay, Jayne, thank you for saying that. Like, you would think someone who, okay, let's say you didn't even believe she's the next heir. She is the daughter and then the sister of the next king, let's just say. No matter what, it's going to bring your house standing up tremendously. And you're sending a really old dude, a really young Blackwood, which...
That was fun.
Did you catch that?
I did.
Dude, is that... I think that's who I think. He comes into the story later. If I'm thinking, okay, I am thinking right.
They have a lot more to go here with those two.
I think it's
okay.
I love that one, I guess.
Yeah.
But I felt like each house should have been presenting, for that house.
Yep.
Their most handsome, strongest, bravest person, and they didn't do that. So I don't feel like that bad that she was kind of dismissive. She could have been more polite though.
Yep. I mean, go ahead, Mason, please.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like this is them saying, like, these are our only, like, single people in our family. Like, let's push them to try and get Rhaenyra to marry into our family with whatever we have.
Right.
Like, take a shot, even if it's not a good one.
But these are some big families, though. So I don't think she's entertaining all of them.
No, I think it's more like they might not be the Starks or the Lannisters, but they are major houses. I mean, the Blackwoods are an ancient kingly race, breed. I don't know what to call them. So I don't know, Zach. What do you think? Did they? To me, they are. They're throwing her the scraps, and she's actually showing her displeasure with it.
Yeah, I think that she's too much of a passive participant in this process, and that they're bringing guys to her, and you could tell by how they're presenting these possible husbands that it's not about who they are; it's who their family is and what the family can offer to her family.
Right.
It's just more of a match. It's not about this guy because that the old guy was not saying I can do this many push-ups. He was saying we have this and provide that to you, and then the little kid, Blackwood, obviously that's not a match physically, but maybe family-wise it would be. And then I think also you have to think that I think you should have been vetted. My initial thought was you got to vet these people. It shouldn't be and it shouldn't be in public because now if she rejects you, it's public.
Yeah.
So all that stuff I felt was strange. But then if you think deeper, well, then who's going to vet them and how?
Right. Well,
who's going to say your family can't come?
Right.
That's the
but
issue.
maybe not the vetting. Forward. What was that, Jayne?
No, just like she's not thinking forward enough. Like even with that kid, their age gap is not that significant. No. In a couple years, he's gonna have a growth spurt. He'll be fine. And he seems brave. He's come, like you said, from an ancient family.
Yep.
I mean, that would secure their route
large army
to Westeros.
Yep. Yep. And he dropped that mofo.
Yeah.
That guy was a Bracken, right?
The guy's messing with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a Bracken. Sure. And they hate each other. And he was a jackass. I was shocked the kid won. And then I was like, oh my God, I forgot what I read. I forgot my readings. Here, Mason, what did you think about this? And then I'm going to read a couple super chats because I just realized someone sent a really nice one. So.
Okay. Yeah, she kind of she doesn't understand what she's doing. Like, the really old guy, like there's a nice way to tell him no, but he's like, my house is so big it even drew the eye of your I'm forgetting the queen.
Her mother or
it was like a great grandmother or something.
Or Alicent.
Yeah, it was.
Or no, Jaharis and Alicent.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alicent. That's
Yeah.
it. Because she rode into dragon and went around Westeros or whatever.
Oh, right.
But it drew her, and she commented on how beautiful his house was. So
Right.
like, obviously you would say something about that. And she was like,
Right.
"Oh, you there, weren't you?" And it
Yeah, well,
I
she
don't know,
was like, and when was that? 50 years ago. Yeah. You know, like, yeah, you're old. That was a good diss. I'll give you that. Did
But
you think
shouldn't be
she handled it
dissing
wrong?
him.
No,
like
definitely.
slighting a lord in front of absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna remember that.
Absolutely.
How does she
Ooh,
think
that's a
she's
good
going to?
point.
Yeah.
Does she think she's going to win the hearts of all the lords and become the queen of Westeros if she's just going to do this
Right.
to everybody?
And that's what I thought Daemon was trying to teach her. Like, they don't need to love you. You need to show that, like, love them. You know what I mean?
He said the
Hi,
same
Mrs.
thing to her
Stark.
about the regular people.
Ooh. All right.
In the actual when they went on their little tour of King's Landing.
Right.
He was trying to stress that to her because she doesn't get it.
Yep.
I mean, on the one hand, yeah, you're a Targaryen, you're a princess, you have a dragon. You could be, if you wanted to, a tyrant,
Yeah.
but that's not going to be helpful and it's not going to last. So
Right.
Yeah, I
she has
mean,
to learn how to rule.
so
All right,
comparing.
hold that for 1 second. I just want to read these to make sure no one leaves. 10 pounds from Zombie Box Review. He sent a super sticker, which was a thank you for shouting out his channel. I'm guessing you didn't have to do that. Thank you, my friend Andy. You always support me. And then we got one from Sherpa Schmo, $49.99 super chat. Wow, man, thank you. Thank you so much.
Nice.
That's awesome. Wow. I hope you are still in the chat because I didn't realize that came up and it's been like 15 minutes. I shouldn't have made you wait. Hail all really liked this episode and how it compares and contrasts with the accounts of Mushroom and the Grand Maester account from the books. Yeah, absolutely what we were talking about before. I really like how there are bits and pieces. I'm guessing we're going to find out that Mushroom was correct here. The Grand Maester was correct there, you know, where one got it right, one got it wrong, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. So, and that's what you think too, right, Jayne? I mean, some of it
Yeah.
will be scandalous, like Mushroom throughout there.
Yeah, and I mean, you could see where they would draw those conclusions from.
Yeah.
And how the story would evolve over time. Definitely.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I
You
think that's
think
what
they'll pick and choose from both?
I think they probably will, and I was thinking we might see a cameo of Mushroom because I think it was Balefire, Lady Balefire said in the chat that it was they don't want to maybe confuse him with Tyrion, so they're not going to do that. But even just like something off the side would be nice.
Right. But
Yeah.
I don't think fans are that
Easter
dumb,
egg.
though. You know,
Easter egg. No,
But
they're probably not.
like they think, and I understand why the chat would think that too, because that's how they think of us. Like, hey, another little person. Is that Tyrion? It must be Tyrion 200 years prior. Like, I think we can understand that there might be more than one little person. And he would be like a jester or something like that, you know?
And I remember reading something about the topic coming up of changing some of the names because they thought the audience would confuse them. And George was like, nah.
No.
We're doing that.
You're Go ahead, Mason.
There's also that Peter Dinklage was like, "You can't hire little people anymore. That's so like ableist or whatever."
Yeah.
Yep, he's an idiot.
I think this whole situation too is Viserys' fault to an extent because this is him being permissive again, him wanting people to like him again and to get along, and you can't always rule like that. And knowing his daughter, he put her in the situation with these other nobles, and he should have known how she'd handle it.
Right, right. And he hasn't, from what I could tell, he has not been training her. Like he tries to tell her, but he doesn't like lay it out. Like, you are making enemies. You are going to be killed.
Do you think though that she's getting advice from two different extremes? Because it's like she has Viserys on the one hand who's way too, not complacent, but like way too soft.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to please everybody.
He's agreeable.
He's too agreeable.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you have Daemon in her ear, like be a dragon. And it's like you have to have a balance of these things. And I'm hoping that as she grows up, she'll be able to sort of take from each of them something that she can put together and be successful as a ruler.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so with Game of Thrones, we had you had Dany, and you get her like being soft, wanting to help people, and then you see her turn into the dragon when something
Yep.
wrong happens, and she's
Yep.
like, "No, this is how it's going to be." But with
You-
Rhaenyra, we just have
Dragon.
you don't get the soft side.
Yeah. And that's not Danny season 8. That's like real Danny. Okay. Sherpa, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Like, that was awesome. And another awesome one is $2 Australians. Congrats on Zaxx hitting 10K. So
Not
awesome.
quite. Getting
So
there.
maybe you hit it. You don't even know it. Why don't you check, jerk?
Thanks, Grant Gregory.
Yeah, we really care. Thanks for giving me an idea. I'm kidding. I kid. I joke. Check out my shorts. Joseph Dredd says Storm's End's worst Bachelor episode. Yeah, because, well, this isn't. I got confused by that. Like, because you got a Baratheon next to her.
Yeah.
So, but you have a Blackwood, which is up in the Riverlands and like between there and the north. Have they all traveled?
I think they
Storm's
traveled
End?
there. It looks like the Baratheons are hosting this event.
Okay. I just wonder because she's on like a tour. So
Yeah.
I wonder.
So maybe they all come to each location or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think of it as like the Bachelor. I kind of thought of it like you always get these fairy tales of the prince who's looking for his princess or whatever. And so all of the girls in all of the counties or whatever get dressed and go to the ball.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of like that but flipped.
Yeah. And they're all ugly. This kid is badass though, man.
Except Cinderella.
Yeah. Cinderella.
That's good.
Yeah, your godfather. We got 40 people watching. Please hit like if you're not subscribed. Please subscribe. Also, I'm going to throw a link in the chat in a little bit. I do have merch on TeePublic. TeePublic has been awesome. They have been giving me a lot of like deals, like 35% off here and there. So every couple days they give deals because no one's buying my shit. So please, I shouldn't have swore because the woman wants to see me say this. But please check it out. They're going to give some more support and take a picture of it like a couple people have and post it. And let me see you with your sporking gear. The link will be in the chat. Yeah. So, okay. So, I mean, I understand that this has to happen.
Well, it doesn't have to. If he would be a king, he could just marry her off to somebody.
Well, I mean, we kind of get that he becomes more kingly towards the end. He gets more balls at the end of this episode.
Patience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
this episode is. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
you,
I'm
but
always interrupting, so please.
This episode is kind of King Viserys like unleashing his dragon. Like he kind of has it like tucked away and very secluded, but he gets angry enough this episode to just let it out.
Yeah. Do you think I'll wait to the end of the episode, but let's remember this part. Okay, so the kid the kid's talking, some dude's ripping on him. So what is the kid? The kid draws his sword and all hell breaks loose and the kid drops the dude. Grown man drops him and I know that kid's going to come back. Did he give his name in the episode? He must have, right?
I can't remember if he did, but I
didn't
think
catch
he
it.
is who we think he is.
I think it is too, and I'm just gonna in a little bit when one of you guys are talking, I'm gonna check the IMDb for that episode. He must have.
Look at the costumes though, too, man.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we were on Nina's channel last night. Thank you, Nina Infinity, for having us on. Jayne, I pointed this out. Like they showed in Rings of Power when they're on the ship, they get rescued, and they show the captain and his diverse crew. They show their armor and it looks like plastic.
It does.
And then you got something like this. Like, this is beautiful. Her dress is beautiful. Her hair is done nicely. Like, this is what you expect, right?
Right. I mean, these are supposed to be incredibly powerful people. Like, why do they look homeless?
Right.
That's a good point.
Ninja says his name was Sir Chad. I
Sir
like that.
Chad.
That's what he will be now for now on. Mr. Grant Gregory for 2 Australian. Buy teas. It's scientifically designed to make you a dragon and 3% hotter. Your temperature, not looks. What do you guys think about the design itself, Mason? I mean, compared to what we've seen with Rings of Power, that I think doubled their episode in pay. I might be wrong on that, but I think they paid a lot, like per episode.
It's far more expensive.
It's far more, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I think House of the Dragon knows how to spend money properly. They didn't just put it in a corner and burn it and say, "Oh wait, we need to make a show still."
Right. Zach, what about you?
I was actually distracted by how good the costumes were and the set was for this after watching Ring of Power. It was so good. His armor, the detail on his armor on Kristen Cole, I think I'm not shad, but I think it's outstanding. And he even has like the under padding and it looks worn the right way. Like it's all there. And someone put a lot of thought and care into this, which is and money as well. But like this is night and day from Rings of Power.
I mean, just look at Rhaenyra, look at her hair, look at her dress. I mean,
even the extras.
I was just about to say that. Look behind, like the guards behind them and people, and you could see Sir Chad off on the side of the screen about to kill a mofo. I mean, it's done beautifully. I feel like I'm in Westeros when I'm not physically, but I feel like I'm immersed. Rings of Power, it's so CGI'd. It's so, the wardrobe does not look like, Numenor, you would expect something more than rags, and that you're not getting it.
Exactly.
But Scott, that was a great call out with a little Blackwood, because that sword looks like it has weight to it.
Right. Like he's coming up with that thing, right? Like that's very good point, Zach. Like even the extra in the back who might not even be in screen, but play it like you are, man. That sword is heavy for you. You're a little boy, young boy. How would you swing it? They thought of all that.
All of that.
What's up, Tim?
This is the difference between like a passion project and then just a job.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that a lot of thought went into this. Like the guy that plays Sir Kristen Cole actually was pranking the people on set trying to bring in another Starbucks cup. Did you see that?
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, they you could tell. Okay, maybe down the road it won't be, but you could tell right now the passion that went into making this. Everybody was all in. That's at least what I feel, Jayne.
I feel like this is all of this is why we don't have the books.
Right.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
We get a good show, but no books.
Yeah, instead of when George R. R. Martin left the
show
working on Game of Thrones because Dan and Dave wanted to do their own thing.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on just writing wins, he started working on the pitch for this show.
Mm-hmm.
He's such. I'm sorry, Mason. He's such a troll.
Yeah.
In the showrunner.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He came to them with the whole plan and who he wanted and everything.
But HBO thought they could do better than him, so they said, "No, you just do your own thing." And then they did their failed Long Night prequel and spent like $30 million on a pilot.
A pilot, right?
Never get seen.
It's gotta leak
bad.
Someday. It's gotta leak. I want to watch it.
Yeah, I wish they would just put it on HBO and be like, "Look, we're not going to do any effects. Here's this. Laugh at it."
Review.
Yep. And
straight to DVD. Boom.
That's what straight to streaming is nowadays.
I mean, Warner
to
needs some money. Let's see it.
Yeah. What I find really cool about this, Zach, is that I am one who was I was very upset with race swapping a Velaryon. Some of the stuff casts were saying, still kind of saying, and yet this show is good enough that it takes me out of that and puts me in this world. And you got to be doing something right. I admit the casting doesn't bother me anymore. He's such a good actor. I could look past it, even though when he says true, let's marry our families and have true Valyrian blood, whatever. But I have to say this show is that good where I'm okay with it, even though they've changed a couple things.
That line bothered me because it's not factually accurate regardless of the casting. So I mean, that was just kind of dumb. Like, your wife is half Baratheon.
Yeah.
What are you even talking about? Like, even if you're pure blood Valyrian, let's assume Valyria had a lot of different. Well, I mean, it wasn't Essos, so it's possible, I suppose.
Possible.
But it doesn't make any sense that you're saying these words when your wife is from Westeros. But the other thing is I'm still concerned about how it's going to play out with Laenor's story.
Do you think they're going with what he is in the implied to be in the books?
I don't even know anymore because the truth may be different from what we know.
Oh.
And they may be able to play it differently.
Yeah, Jayne. I didn't even think about that. I mean,
So I'm waiting. I'm giving them all the benefit of the doubt at this point. They've earned it.
yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think about, the quality of the show taking you, because they could have ruined it. Some of the actors talking about the hate, which there really wasn't hate. It was just a dislike for race swapping, race of people that are almost elf-like, but I guess now elves are black too. So whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine to just grumble about like when they do these race swaps, but like the rest of the show is good. Like it is so good that I can say my piece about that and then continue to enjoy the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Lady Balefire, Zaxx is saying she's not as excited with this show. And that's okay, because we can disagree here on Sporky News Podcast. What do you think, Zaxx? You better agree with me.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Scott. Of course. And I loved Corliss's portrayal in episode 3. I thought it was great. And so I'm looking past the race swap thing, but what bothered me was the actor's comments and his like straw man where he's saying that people can't imagine a rich black man and that's the issue.
Yeah.
And that's like just the worst gaslighting
That's so
argument you can
disrespectful.
come out with.
Yeah.
Like that is not what it was at all ever. It was that he's been described to look this way, and so people are surprised he's going to look different. That's it. And there's plenty of rich black people. It's
But
not
no, it goes deeper than that,
that's
Zaxx.
a weird thing
It
to
goes
say.
deeper. But it goes deeper than that. There is a plot line in the books
I
that
know.
calls into some questioning of
Heritage.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're saying pure Valyrian blood, Mason. It's like, what? I don't know.
Yeah. That line didn't make sense anyway, but I still had a problem with my issue with the casting was that because where I sort of separate from I think the majority on this is I can buy his mom being something else. I can totally accept that, but they still didn't cast him as biracial.
Right.
And I think they specifically did that because they wanted his son to look the way he looks.
Right. And that bothers me because he should, if anything, should be biracial.
Right.
Yep.
And Laenor needs to look pure Valyrian. That's who should be pure Valyrian in appearance. And they don't have that. He doesn't look that way. He's light-skinned, but he's not white, and he's supposed to be. He really is for the plot involving the kids insofar as we know it from the stories.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I don't know how that's going to play out, but I will say that I do feel immersed in the world, and that's something that,
I'm happy with.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I want to say that
please.
I think the showrunners and the creatives behind the show talking about the race swap of Corlys Velaryon was a lot worse than just doing it.
Right.
Because the guy is a phenomenal actor.
Phenomenal.
He's doing really good.
Yeah.
I like seeing him on the screen, but then he goes on Twitter and is like, y'all just hate me. And why are you complaining? Like, you just don't want to see the rich black guy. And like,
they always
dude,
want to
you're a
reduce
good
your
actor.
argument. Yeah, they want to reduce your argument to like the simplest thing, and it is a straw man because that's not what anybody is saying. I mean, if you know the story, assuming you've researched your own character and you've seen how the character has been betrayed before in the animated histories or whatever, you know what people think he should look like.
Yep.
And you know what your son's story is going to be. So you know that the complaints are legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Just acknowledge the truth of the legitimate complaint.
Yep.
Yes, thank you, Jayne.
And just say, look, I know y'all expected, so would I, but we're trying something different. I hope you enjoy it or whatever. Like, you don't have to be so antagonistic and hostile.
Right.
Towards fans who are legitimately critical of honest points. And for the people who are saying racist stuff, just ignore them because they don't matter. Like, why are you giving them attention?
Right. And Zaxx, like, that is why won't these actors realize all they have to do? I mean, almost, and it sounds stupid, but just empathize with what the fans are feeling. It is not about God. I am so sick and tired that everything is about race. Like, you guys are the racists for bringing it up all the time. We're talking about content or material from a book, or I don't know, canon. That it's not a code word for racism.
Right.
I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I think empathy will buy you a lot with a fan base and with people who want to see something good. And if you just say, I understand your concerns, and I would have them too if I was in your position, because he's supposed to look this way and there's this storyline later on. So I understand, but I'm going to do my best with the character. I'm excited to be in this show.
Yeah.
And I'll do a different take, but I'm going to do my best to bring him to life.
Right.
How do you argue with that?
Right. Exactly. Give the fans some credit, dude.
Oh, dude, we would the minute he said that, I'd be like, okay, I'm good with this. Let's see let's see what happens. And even after he said that, I still love the character. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that Lady Balefire. I'm just mad they're not making Corlys as powerful as he should be. We haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. They seem to be hinting at it, like they're
Yes.
headed in building him up slowly because they were just so focused on the conflict he was facing at the time.
Right.
So now they've resolved that. I think maybe now we pivot a little bit with his story.
Right.
And we get to see more of his influence.
I mean, look at, first of all, he has a reach. I mean, the guy is the most wealthy, but also powerful as a warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, his weapon is badass. They showed it in the last episode. It's like a I think they call him Barducci. I don't know. It's like an axe almost. The thing is badass. And you know who else is badass? Zombie Box Reviews for £2. This show is 1,000 times better than the Rings of the South. That's awesome.
Oh my god, I have to do something with that title.
It was brought up last night and it's fantastic.
So
Rings of the
funny.
South. What are you doing here, knife ears? So stupid. Guys, again, please check out Zombie Box Reviews. Also check out what was it again? Your friends, Lady Balefire. Please keep commenting. I'm starting to think you know what you're talking about, and I like that. Might have to have you on maybe. So now we're in this next scene. Okay, we're
I
going.
love this scene.
Yeah. So they're taking a ship back. She's coming back early from, her supposedly 2-month tour.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they hear something and woof, they get Daemon buzzing them, almost, tipping the boat a little bit, knocking her and banging her head.
It's a dragon. You can't just hit her boat with a dragon.
Yeah. Dude, it's not even like something close. Like even the wind from the dragon would take the sails. You know what I mean? He's such an idiot. But just saying hi though, I guess, right guys?
Yeah.
Just letting everybody know, say hi.
He's buzzing the tower. That's
Yeah.
what he's doing.
Yep. And that leads to this next one where we are now in the throne chamber, and in the throne room, and Viserys is waiting on Daemon to present himself, and Daemon walks in with the crown, and it's very tense at first, but then humbles himself, kneels, presents the crown to his brother, and they're besties.
I liked how this played out. I saw some other reviews where people were complaining because they did change the scene a little bit from him like landing with the dragon in front of him.
Right.
But I liked it. I felt it was a more intimate scene, and you got to see more of that play between the two actors, but also between the two characters. And
Right.
I love that energy, and I loved how you could tell with Viserys, in his face, he was going back and forth between should I be worried?
Right. Should I be worried, mad? Like you didn't know what he would like. Yeah, I love that, Jayne.
Is he going to try to kill me now? What's going to happen?
Yeah, like is he going to make a scene? Is he going to Yeah, what Mason, what do you think?
Well, he walks in and it looks like he's going to be like, hey, guess what? I'm a king too. And like going to try and like antagonize his brother. But then he's like, the sea snake, he just left and went back to his holdings. But I came here because I recognize that there's only one true king. And he like bows and does this huge sincere thing. And it is a very nice moment because you have the king like decked out. He has his crown on. He has the the sword. What is it? Blackfire? Is that the one that he has?
Yeah, the king has Blackfire. He has Dark Sister. Yeah.
Yeah. And the king has that, and he's like looking as regal as possible. And has
Again.
all of the people watching him.
Yep.
And
Don't
then
forget,
Daemon does this,
Mason. I'm sorry to interrupt
No,
you,
you
buddy,
go ahead.
but no, I want to tell you, don't forget what the sword means. I mean, we learned that from Rob in Game of Thrones. Like, the sword being presented with you while you greet someone is a sign of hostility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's aggressive.
Yep.
Well, like,
Go.
he got kicked out, saying like, "Hey, you're banished from the city. Do not come back. Go back to the Vale." And he completely didn't do that. But he brings this this big conquest and says like, "I did this to honor you."
Right.
It was
But
very nice.
He
Very
brings up the fact that they call him a king.
Yeah.
He just had to do it.
Yeah. He always has to, Zach, he always has to rub salt in, it seems like. But,
Yeah.
I mean, was it, people are saying, and you said he did sound sincere, but did he? Was he sincere? I mean,
I think he struggles with it, and that's what I love about how
Yeah.
this character is being portrayed, because there is this conflict even within him. He loves his brother and he wants to support him, but at the same time he wants to be king and he wants to be accepted, but he also wants to be the most powerful person in the world.
right.
And it's like, how do you balance those things? Your brother's king and you love him. You know what you'd have to do to overthrow him, but you can't do that. It's like,
Yeah.
are you ever
So,
going to live up
I
to
think-
him? No.
It seems like to him, his name and his reputation are the most important things to him.
Yeah.
So
The
like,
family name.
But he doesn't live
Well,
up to it.
he doesn't want to
How can he know?
he doesn't want to accept help from his brother. He doesn't want people to think he's weak. So he does that whole big thing at the end of the last episode,
Which was badass.
and then they crown him king, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness, and then he hands it off, showing that he's like this virtuous person.
right.
And then
I like that,
he
though.
tries to marry his niece by
well, there's
like
that.
doing the stuff later in this episode.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And-
Was this all planned, Mason?
Well, he thinks that doing that will strengthen House Targaryen and bring up his last name back to glory. I think is what he says. He says something along those lines.
What,
I
Zach,
think,
what
I
do
think
you
he played
think?
it perfectly. I think he played it perfectly. I think we're expecting him to do something different because we're getting accustomed to poor storytelling with dumb characters who come in and barge in and demand things. And what he did was he won the war without his brother's help, almost all on his own. And then he comes back and presents his brother the crown and,
Right.
and the hammer to say, like, I didn't need you to win these things, but I'm still going to give them to you. And that's the best way to come back and be humble
Right.
about it and get embraced. He doesn't, don't come in with conflict. You don't need to.
Yeah, he brought honor to
Right.
to the realm without any help. He did
Yeah.
that himself.
And you make that difficult to reject. So Viserys, how do you reject that in front of all these people now when he's clearly, prostrate before you and he's says,
Right.
add this to the chair. Yeah.
And he
I think
doesn't
it was
want
well
to
done.
reject it. He wants to accept his
Right.
brother. He wants him
Absolutely.
to change and matured through this experience. But I think from Daemon's perspective, I think the reason why he's fighting so hard for his name is because he sees his brother's potentially weakening it. And it reminded me of the whole situation with the Lannisters, with Tytos and Tywin. Because Tywin always sort of looked at his dad as being weak.
Yes.
And he thought he could make their family strong. But, it's not as much hostility perhaps, but I feel like you have that playing all over again
Right.
with this family because his brother
think about
is
it like that.
weakening them. It's making them vulnerable.
Yep.
And he should, I don't know. It's on the other hand, if you do give in and you let Daemon be effectively the heir, you could be dooming the entire kingdom to another Maegor.
Yeah, and I kind of go with that too. It's like I think this is a calculated move by Daemon. He won the war. He knows his brother is not going to be happy when he comes. So what do? You appease him, and you appeal to, his like lighter side. He knows his brother just wants peace. So you bring him peace. And he'll give you what you want. And then, down later in the episode, he tries, instead of approaching his brother and being like, look, why don't you marry your daughter to me? You're the king. Even if you don't want me to take another wife, let's drop a dragon over near the religion. I'm blanking on the religion, but fly to Old Town, drop next there, and be like, yeah, and tell him to annul this, wipe this golden bitch thing off, and I will marry your daughter and strengthen. But he goes a weird. Right, bronze bitch. I said golden, didn't I? Damn it! Should have been a Lannister. But he goes about it in a sneaky, deviant, and again lying way. Where now you call into, and was it you that said it, Mason? Or someone might have said it, or maybe I thought of it because I'm a genius. He lies about what happens at the end, and we'll talk about that when it gets there. But does that mean when he admitted to other things? Before, like what he said about his son, was that a lie?
Well, he says, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, dude, interrupt me. I talk too much.
He says the thing about like, oh, I need to know what the accusation is so I can deny it.
Right.
Like he recognizes the same thing that the king recognizes later, that perception is the truth.
Right.
Yep.
But he also says something along the lines of like, you're the king, your word is the truth, the law, the something else.
He's trying to remind his brother, like, dude, you are the god darn king.
Like you can do anything you want to.
Yep.
But that goes back to what we were saying before, but he's too extreme. Like, yeah, you're the king.
Right.
You can do whatever you want. You really can. Your entire family has dragons.
Right.
But the king also understands that he can't go to that extreme because, I mean, it's not going to be enough. Ultimately,
you rule over a land of ash.
Exactly. So what do you do? It's damned if you do, damned if you don't, I guess, at this point. But I do think that Daemon should have been more forthright from the very beginning and said, look, from as mature Daemon coming back from after doing all of this,
which we know he can be.
He can be. He should have proposed it then.
Yes.
Like, let's unite the Targaryen house.
Right.
With the marriage.
Well, see, that's why I'm wondering, is it still all just a game? Or like you said, there's the two sides of Daemon, and sometimes the crazy dragon wins out. I don't know.
Yeah,
But it could be. I don't know. Zombie Box Reviews is leaving, so I just want to say goodbye to Andy for £5. He says it's late, so I'm going to head off. You're awesome, Scott. Come on. You all are. I mean, they are. You also have my permission to use Rings of the South as your next title. That'll be Jayne's. She just needs to give us all a shout out. But yeah, no, dude. First of all, guys, subscribe to Andy. He's a good dude. And get Mason to 100 subs, because literally he can't be on the last episode if he isn't. Okay? So by episode 10, the man has to have 100 subs. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't make me do this, guys.
Yeah, help me beat Scott.
Yeah. Most people do, my friend. Most people do. I'm going to do a lot of shorts. And Billy Bob, don't be upset. You could always go back and watch the beginning. And nephews are very important. It's always good to see you. Thank you for commenting on my videos and stuff. So that's what we get. Aegon gives me Ned Stark's flashbacks. He's so likable. Aegon gives me Ned Stark flash. Viserys? Viserys.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think you meant
so.
Viserys.
Yeah.
And you're right. He's just like Ned. I mean, it ends differently, but he's not made for this game, and it's slowly, as we could see, killing him.
Yeah.
But they make up and let's have a party. So
one thing.
Oh, go please.
I did like this scene here where they kind of hug.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was so sweet.
I mean, Viserys was like, that's all he wants is his brother.
Yeah.
And in this next scene, go ahead, Mason, please.
So both of them value family so deeply, but they have two very different ways of going about it.
Yeah. That's the thing, from what we have seen in 4 episodes, Daemon does love his family, but he doesn't want, he
Maybe
never
a little
wants to
too much.
Well, I mean, they are Velaryon. But his fear, the reputation and the power, he's scared they may lose it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that many dragons he shouldn't be, but he is.
I think he knows how it can be lost. And I don't know where that wisdom comes from, but I think he does have it.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't understand he can't be too extreme with that. So he thinks he would make a better king. I think that's questionable.
Oh
but
God,
I
yeah,
understand why he has that perspective.
absolutely.
So do you think that he feels this way about like House Targaryen weakening because he just walks around with like all the people in the city streets like he does later on in this
And
episode?
sneaks around the castle. He knows all of Maegor's passages.
Yeah.
He knows
Um,
everything. Prince
yeah.
of the City. I mean, the people like him.
Yeah.
From what we can tell. And so I think he feels like he's a man of the people.
Yep.
He's also incredibly powerful and knows how to wield his power.
Yep.
But we also see how extreme he can be when it's unchecked.
Right, but I also think Mason has a very valid point because I think that's what he's trying to show Rhaenyra when he takes her out. How the mummers are like showing her their family and her in particular, like, look, they show us, like, they think us, this is what they think of us. Yes, it's a show, but people are agreeing, people are cheering, people are booing. Like, he knows because he's with the people. He knows because he sneaks around the castle. He hears everything. This dude knows they're weakening, and it's almost like no one else can see it, and he feels that he has to do this, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that he realizes that he can recall, or at least understands that it's still kind of us against them. They invaded, they conquered, they took over, and everyone's being nice to them at this point. But the only real strength that they have, the people they can trust, is within their own family. And I think that's kind of gross, but that's, I think, part of where that comes from for him.
It's true.
He doesn't want to accept outside help either. He tries to avoid that.
Yep.
And that's why I think, to me too, that's part of the reason why the emphasis on purity kind of was just too weird to me, because by this time they've made very strategic alliances through their marriages. They would marry out and then marry back in. And they've done that repeatedly now for a couple of different generations.
Right.
So they're tied to and they have alliances with families in Westeros, but they keep marrying back to themselves
Right.
in order to strengthen their own family bond. And
well, also not give other families the genetics to raise a dragon.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the biggest thing. And I like what Billy's saying. I don't think Daemon would be a Maegor, but more of a hardcore Stannis. Now, Maegor did some really harsh shit, but if Maegor wasn't the king when he was, the seven, that religion would have taken over. Like, people don't realize, like, Maegor is, again, a narrator that was writing for a reason. If you really read what Maegor did, he took the crown because he knew his nephew was too weak, and he knew that the religious fanatics would have taken control. They would have taken control, and he said
we needed at the time.
he was the king. He didn't need to be liked. He needed to make sure that they kept on, and he didn't even have any heirs because I don't know.
Stannis though.
Yeah, I don't know about.
Stannis.
He's not. He's far from a Stannis.
Stannis was so conservative.
Yes. He was very conservative, but he was also a risk taker when it came to some moves he would do. When it came to battles, if you read some of the reports of his battles, he maybe not risks is the right word, but he does things that are not, people don't expect him to do.
Right.
Yeah.
He also was very focused on doing the, rewarding the good stuff and punishing the bad. You have Davos, who gets rewarded to, he gets raised to knighthood, but he also gets his fingers chopped off.
Yeah.
I think that might also be like where they're coming from, talking about Daemon.
Shane Nolan in the chat says dragons made us kings, and I think that's a good point too, because Viserys doesn't want a dragon, and he's the king.
Yeah.
Right.
He seems to fear their power.
Do you think we're going to find out before he croaks why? Like, I want to know if Velaryon did something to him. Like, did he show me on this dragon doll where he touched you?
Like, did he almost drop you? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, something. Scare you in some way, do something terrible. I need to know.
They are wild, though. I mean, they have a bond with their dragon, but the dragons aren't controlled. Right.
And we talked about it a couple episodes ago when, the dragons were, Daemon and Rhaenyra were landing their dragons on, and people were worried they were going to go to war, and oh my God, we're going to have to fight Daemon. But the dragons never made any weird
they were like,
movement.
hey, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And it's because don't forget they could sense what their
Exactly.
rider's feeling. And I can't wait to see if they actually think about this in the show. Like, will we see dragons reacting weird because they know how their dragon rider's feeling?
I that's gonna hurt. I'm probably
Yeah.
gonna need to take a day,
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
like a
Oof.
mental health day.
That's gonna be a rough one. Yeah, they dropped the Vagar thing. I'm sorry. Were you gonna say something, Zach? I know you were trying to say something.
No, I already did. I'm good.
Oh, okay. They dropped the whole Vagar thing, and which is funny because we know she ends up with Vagar, and they try to make it seem like it's out near their island and that's how she gets it.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
that'd be cool.
Go on. Yeah.
So what do you guys think about, like, what if King Viserys like just didn't have the like ability to connect with the dragon? So he like wrote it expecting to like gain it while flying on Velaryon, and then just didn't, and was on for a wild ride.
Could be, or yeah, I'm thinking maybe along those lines, it took him somewhere
And he saw things,
and he saw things.
and he never wants to see that again. Yeah. Yeah. And he was the biggest, strongest, most badass dragon. And he was at the end of his life. He could have been a cranky mofo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dragon Demands did a video talking about like what the dragons are in Westeros, and like they never die of old age or anything. They just get bigger and bigger until they literally cannot fly or move.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Did I know that? I might have known that, but I didn't realize that.
I wonder if that's why why they built the pit.
Well, that would be something that someone understood that, and that's why they built the pit. Because you see where Dany's dragons, one escapes, two are in the pit longer, so they're a little bit smaller. Someone must
Keep
have
them
realized
just
that.
big enough to be scary and powerful, but not too big that they start to die.
Yeah, I don't know, but it didn't work. Backfired. So now So now we're at this. Oh hell yeah, we're at the not supposed to be, but there is a Weirwood Tree moment that bothers the hell out of me, but still fine.
Yeah, party in the Godswood.
Well, it's watching.
Now, Gary brought up maybe it gets destroyed at some point before.
It happened before this. There's no when the Vandals.
Could someone have planted it?
No, because it's hard to plant a Weirwood. It's hard to make them grow. They have to take root. But from what I remember, there has not been since the Andals. There's only a few places south of the neck. The Isle Faces and a dead one, maybe somewhere else, Blackwoods maybe, or someone has a dead one. But there was definitely not one in King's Landing because it was a heart tree. It wasn't. Their heart tree was like an oak or something like that. It was not
it was
a
an oak in the
weirwood.
books, I think.
Yeah, all weirwoods are heart trees. Not all heart trees are weirwoods.
Scott,
That
you just
might
have
not
an
be
issue
right.
with a tree being rich. You can't handle it.
It's. I hate the color red. I'm sorry.
There you go.
There it is. There it is.
Excuse me, it's a tree of color.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's actually a very white tree with red. I'm shocked they didn't recast it because it's a redhead. But whatever. Shane says there's 12 in the south. He thinks Lady Blackfire would know. Heart tree is an oak. It's a heart tree. Yep, it's an oak. Question though, are they echo? Did anybody else hear that?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so is it?
It's gone.
Now it's like silence.
It's gone.
Okay, is it? Are they doing all these moments in front of this tree because we're gonna find out that somebody is watching, like the children? Well, I think Gary said something like that, but I've been thinking the children of the forest, or maybe because there was probably, before Bloodraven, there was probably, Three-Eyed Crows way before him. So, will we find out there was an original one or something like that? What do you guys think?
Well, they did say they were trying to add in magic. Like they said, they were going to add in the prophecies, and they said they wanted to just put back in that magical feel that was kind of missing from the original series.
Yeah. Damn. I'm sorry to change this real quick, but Tina, you're so right. Soars. He drinks a lot of wine, which is sugary. He might be a diabetic. I never thought of that.
Yeah. I don't think he's being poisoned either. I
No.
think that they're intentionally not helping him heal.
Yeah.
Because I think there's more that they can do, and they seem to not be doing anything, just letting him die.
That's I wish we got Blood Raven too, but maybe in the Dunk and Egg show.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So
Dunk and Egg,
again,
baby.
I really believe this is going to come in. The only reason you put a Weirwood Tree there is for two different reasons. One, hey, remember Game of Thrones? Or two, it's watching them. That's the only thing I can think of, because a couple things happen in front of it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, have the Targaryens completely gone over to the faith of the Seven by now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that
They
happened.
don't
I mean,
seem to be real believers, though.
right. They do it to appease the faith. That's why Daemon's like, I want to take another wife. He would never do that if he respected the faith.
And even Rhaenyra, when she was praying, she didn't even know how.
Right.
But she was just
Oh, good
telling
point.
her, how to do that. So it seems like that was the first time in her life at 14 that she had even prayed.
Yeah, that is crazy, right? I agree with you. It is a metaphor, but it could be diabetes too. Diabetes. So Alicent is here listening in. The brothers are loving each other. Rhaenyra pops in after they're joking, and like the stupid girl she is, has to open her mouth.
I want to just shout out the wig maker for Viserys' wig.
Yeah.
It's so good. They do such a good job with like that receding hair, and you can see it's thinning on top. And then, but if to me, I'm sorry, I know you like this haircut a little bit, but for me, Daemon has a bit of like a Gwendolyn Christie thing going on.
It's something I can't. There is some movie where a guy has like the blonde eyebrows, and it's the same exact thing, and I can't place it in my head. But oh no,
Blade Runner.
No, it's something else. There's
Blade Runner. Vikings?
Maybe it's the Magicians, the Fairy Queen. Like, I don't know. Magicians. I like that show. It was weird, but I liked it. Very, very weird. So yeah, they're bumming around, they're having fun, and then she opens her mouth and he is not happy. He starts slamming drinks. Again, is his middle finger gone, or what finger is that? Because it's shooting straight
I see
out.
a couple fingers gone now.
Yeah, like he's falling apart, and we see that even worse later. You could tell Alicent's not really digging things right about now.
She's also being dismissed. Like, she tries to say something and no one's paying any attention to her.
Oh
So
yeah,
I feel like she's sort of fading into the background.
right,
Which leads up to the conversation she has with Rhaenyra later.
right. So they talk for a bit. He's happy to have his brother. What else happens? She gets kind of told to like go check out the tapestries. You know what that means.
Yeah.
And this is the moment. Like, look at Daemon's face. Like, it's not like, oh shucks, that kid. This is my end. That's what I get from that. Like,
He's grown now.
Yep.
Oh, she wants to look at the tapestries. You know what
Right.
that means.
Yeah,
She's
right.
tapestry looking age.
What a it's like it's almost like more of a tactical move. Like, I really think he's plotting what he wants to do. Like, he is ambitious to a point. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all coming together.
Yep. All right. And then where do we go after this? So they have their talk, and this is where we have the reverse. Mason, you brought it up. The reverse slight. And I think that is a important moment, because you could tell it hit hard. Take your lap, Mason, because that was a good one.
I mean, yeah, you see they keep making these like jabs at each other, like not even meaning to.
Right.
But you can see that, like in this scene, you kind of see them try and come back together as friends.
Right.
She's like, no one talks to me like they used to.
Right.
You're the only one that's on equal footing with me. You're the princess, I'm the queen.
Right.
I wish people would just talk to me like they used to, but instead I'm just the queen. I'm no longer like their friend. And she's like,
Right.
well, I don't want to end up just squeezing out heirs. She's like, dang it.
This is the moment too. Look at them. She's like, oh shit, I said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's true. And I think it's something that maybe Alicent hadn't put together until just now. What's becoming of her, where she is now, what her role is, her duty, if you
Right.
will, is just to produce more children for the king.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's her entire future. That's all the life she'll have unless she grows old and dies or dies in childbirth. And Rhaenyra doesn't want that for herself.
Right. And it's so well written that they set it up here. Later on, she gets called to his chambers late at night. Like they set this moment up like where she realizes, and maybe it's not even she realizes right now, she already knows. It's just hearing it out loud.
There are a couple more scenes too where you see her with the baby and you see her by herself. And it's like she's thinking little by little. And she never says a word in those scenes.
Right.
But you can see it all coming together. And this is her life. This is her future. Meanwhile, Rhaenyra's running all over King's Landing having a ball.
Yeah. Having a great time.
Did they
if this was a
name
worse
the
show,
baby?
if this was a worse show, they're doing the thing where she's talking to a maid about how she has no agency and like, but they didn't do any of that. They just showed us, and she is being moved around like a pawn on a chessboard, and she has no control where she goes. She's physically being summoned and moved and used, and I think she's sort of seeing that now.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think?
So, did they name the kid that she was pregnant with last episode?
Right. She gave birth. Looks great. So how much long? I don't even know the time jump, man.
Yeah. I mean, they used a pretty big baby. Like that wasn't a newborn.
Exactly. Like that kid looked over 6 months easy.
Yeah. When they're in town, they say that the other baby's 3. So it's probably like a year and a half.
Okay. So a year, and she was pretty darn pregnant. So the kid could be like, 8-9 months. But yeah, again, I think Zaxx, you put it perfectly. They, instead of just having her have like a whole dump, exposit. I can never say that word. I wanted to sound smart.
Yeah, the exposition.
Thank you. Dump. She didn't. She showed us with facial expressions and mood.
She didn't go, the patriarchy is so terrible.
Right.
And she's alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I mean, and there again, Rhaenyra doesn't, Rhaenyra is very selfish. And one thing about Alicent is we've noticed, at least in these early years, yes, she did something behind her back because she was made to, but she still wants her friend and still wants her to know she's there for her, and it's just so funny to see the dynamic and how it plays out down the road.
And they have a history in this spot too. This is kind of their space.
Yeah.
Has been.
Yeah. And don't forget, the Weirwood is hearing all of this. All right. I forgot what they talked about here. Completely blanked.
Yeah, I can't remember either, actually.
She asked him why he came home, and he's like, I missed all my family, and I missed home.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Okay.
And then I think the next scene they walk over and get wine.
Right. And when she goes, what are you really doing here? Like she just throws it out there. And that's when they kind of come over here. And once you are wed, you can do it. Oh, and he's also telling her, like, you're gonna, it's a political thing. Why are you so worried about this?
And she says she just wants to be left alone. Like she wants solitude.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have that. If you're going to be queen.
Yeah, it seems like she just wants wants to be queen just so that she can have it and wants to go do whatever else she wants.
Yeah.
It's not like she wants it because it's her duty and she's going to do it.
Not her duty, it's her birthright.
Yeah.
It's her birthright. And there's no reason other than that, Mason. I don't see, I think it's just she feels like it has to be hers, but do you think she's ever asked herself, does she really want to be queen?
Right.
you know, for any reason. And I think Daemon nails her here with a good line, like, because again, she's, oh, you know, woe is me. I like how the writers do that. Like a moment where it could be damn patriarchy. Someone's like, you know what? You're the queen. You are one of the lucky one, or princess. You're a lucky one. It could be a lot worse. You could be sold off to slavery. You know, like there's a lot worse things.
Yep.
Yeah. And we had that conversation with her and Alicent, and now Damon's telling her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, everybody keeps trying to tell her, like, you're not helpless in this situation.
Right.
Even though you may feel you are, because you're an emotional teenager.
Right.
She's not acting like she wants to rule. She's just acting like she doesn't want to be passed over. It seems more like.
Yeah.
That's it. She doesn't want to be passed over. Absolutely love
And
how-
marrying her to Daemon would resolve all of these issues.
Right. Right. It really would. Right here, you guys can't see it, but this is where he's talking about you cannot live your life in fear, or you will forsake the best parts of it. I thought that was a great line. Like telling her, like, you're so worried about getting this, you know, political marriage, which we all have to do, that you're missing your youth. You're missing the fun of life. Just get married and then go do whatever you want to do. You're a dragon.
When I saw this, I was like, if this was in English, it would have been clipped out and like gone viral.
Right.
Oh, and should we draw some attention to the Velaryon in the show? The way they speak to one another is, they clearly have language coaches and people on set.
Hell yeah.
They have practiced. They don't like adopt a different dialect depending on the scene, like what we see in Rings of Power.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. Yeah, I thought it's so cool seeing people speak the High Valyrian. And they do it. I like that because other than, you know, Viserys probably in the keep and maybe a couple other dragon pit guys, no one's going to know what they're talking about.
No.
So it's so smart that they do that, and it sounds really cool. It sounds very does it sound closer to like maybe Arabic or something? Like, what do you guys, I feel like it's based on that, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know, but I know that when they speak it, it sounds like their native tongue. It doesn't sound like a second language.
Right.
They're so relaxed and comfortable with it.
Right. Rings of Power, Galadriel.
Oh my god.
I mean, literally night and day, these two shows. I freaking love it. This is him pissed off that she skipped, right? Maybe I'm wrong. God dang it.
Yeah,
Right.
they're talking about the Velaryons are about to arrange a marriage with
the Sea Lord of Bravos.
Yeah.
Which would be bad.
Oh, that would be bad.
Yeah, they say that power from that like alliance would like rival Westeros,
Right.
rival the king.
But again, they don't have freaking dragons, man.
Well, that's the thing.
Oh, no, they
have
do.
dragons.
Shit,
Yes,
they do.
That's
Yeah,
the
they do.
threat. That's the threat, is that you're giving another power, a naval force, and dragons.
Oh my god, I blanked there. And do they still only have the one, or does she have Vega?
They have just the one right now.
Okay.
I think.
Because, I
they
mean,
just
it's
have
been
one on
three, four. She's now probably 15, 16.
We haven't seen it yet, though.
Yeah.
But
I guess
the other thing this sets up too, which is really clever, is the the willingness of their family to outmarry across the sea,
right.
which is what they're using as their explanation as to why he's black.
Right.
Right.
There you
Suggesting
go.
that his dad did the same thing.
Right. Ah, very astute there, Jayne. That's a good. I didn't even think of that.
You also have, the Velaryons strengthening up their sea power, and then you have the Targaryens, which have air dominance because they have 16 dragons, and then they have the Velaryons have one.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
the
right?
moment. Well,
At the moment.
there's only 2 dragon riders in the Targaryens right now.
Oh, okay.
There may be more dragons, but there's only 2 riders, and they have Laenor's a dragon rider. So at this time, well, unless she is or isn't a dragon rider yet, there's either only 3 or 4 people that are actual dragon riders. It's later on, closer to the Dance of Dragons, where that all changes. We have
Right.
so many, like, I don't know if people realize how early we are in this story. Like, even when they do the time jump, we have so many characters to meet, re-meet. You know, it's gonna. I'm excited, even though I'm not feeling some of the changes with the cast.
Agreed.
But you know,
This cast is so good. I don't know why. Like, once you get to this point, I guess you've made the decision already, but the Rhaenyra actress who plays Rhaenyra is great.
oh, good. The girl is awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
she should stay.
And this was the
Yeah.
part you guys
this
were
is the
talking about.
scene, Yeah,
Yeah,
with
this
the
is
That
the scene.
massive baby.
I mean, that kid is
Like
huge.
that's like as big as her
It's a
torso.
toddler. It's a toddler.
That's a ham.
That's a ham hock. But look at her. Look at her. She's just lost.
And the baby's like screaming here or something. So she's just like, oh God.
She's just like, I'm done. Do I have to do this again? Yeah, there are definitely more riders. Good to see you too, Mike. There are definitely more riders coming.
There's more to come.
Yep. IDAWG. I've seen the older Alicent actress in other stuff, and she's pretty good. I hope so. I hope so. Oh, the other Alicent one. I don't know her that well. But the other one, yay.
Lady Balefire, I don't think that in this particular instance, I don't think that it's so much hating motherhood and kids. It's more so that she never had a childhood.
Yeah.
Like she was sort of coerced into this by her dad,
Yep.
and she's doing it to raise her family, right? Their house and all of that. But she doesn't get to have any actual freedom
Yeah.
that we see Rhaenyra enjoy in a little bit.
And you got to give Alicent credit because I mean, before Rhaenyra like says that out loud, like I don't want to be a baby factory, pretty much. She seems very happy with her son, carrying the other baby. She's very loving to Viserys.
Yeah.
Like she is in it. But I think when she said that, it's in her head now,
Right.
and I think that's what we're seeing.
Yes, I agree.
And it's true. I mean, there's nothing that's going to be able to change for her. It's not like today where you can have kids and then decide to do something different. She will be doing this until she dies.
What were you gonna say, Zach?
I was going to say that she's now been shown that she's kind of in a loop where even looking out the window, it's barred. You know,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
she's had that pointed out to her, and I think so. She wouldn't normally feel that way because you're caught up being a parent and a wife and a queen. But now it's been shown to you, and you're like, oh yeah, I really am kind of stuck here.
Yeah. Yeah, Katina, I don't feel bad for the Hightowers either, but at this age, I feel bad for her.
And
Later
and
on, I
I
don't.
think it contrasts well too with Viserys' wife before, Emma, because she respected the duty,
Right.
and the responsibility of it, and the risk that came with it. She saw it as a duty. But it's like this generation of women are a little bit different too, and Alicent doesn't look at it that way anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of feels like she's having like a midlife crisis, you know, and like it is like Middle Ages, so like maybe it is or midlife crisis. But
She's like 19. It might
Yeah.
be-
Nathan
might
going
be-
on
like-
39.
yeah.
it's like
yeah.
thinking about like, am I really happy just doing this? Like, what am I doing? What is my purpose in life? What am I doing right now? Is this? Am I content where I'm at?
Right. Right. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, because I'm looking at Lady Balefire, the feminist message. The book is about two women going against the patriarchy. Like, this is George's writing. It's not the show telling us that. It's what George, and it's not even really I don't even consider it like a feminist thing. Yes, it's patriarchy because father, son, you know, they get everything. Women don't have as much rights. Viserys tries to change that. Things get messed up, and now we have two women going at it. Like,
But I think
Going at it.
yeah, we're not at that
think-
scene yet.
I think it's closer to what real feminism actually is,
Right.
in a way, as opposed to the sort of the bastardized version that we have in modern day society.
Amen.
Because at that time, they were in fact living in a true patriarchy, where you had these expectations, and she is stuck with them as wife of the king.
Yep.
So if
Absolutely.
in the message, I mean, to the extent there's a message, it's part of the story, and well done in my opinion.
Yep.
I think that they've done a good job with the show too, where it's nothing is always anything. This is a time for her, and she is alone, and she's reflecting on what was just said to her, and it doesn't mean it's always going to be presented to us that way.
Again, I agree with you, but they want to go a couple seasons, so I think that's why it's so focused on that right now. I understand it that we could go into other things a little bit more, but I mean, really, they're trying. I think they're just trying to streamline why the dance happened.
And to be honest, I thought it was going to be worse. I thought we'd get more of the
I
message.
did too. I did too.
And they're showing that, you know, I think you just said it, like it does sort of lead up into what the ultimate conflict is between these two. And it also shows you the foundation of Rhaenyra's very poor decision making going forward that's going to usher in that conflict.
Right.
So it's like you have, on the one hand, the feminist message, but on the other hand, you see the consequences of it going too far.
Right. Zach, excuse me, Mason, anything on that one?
Nah.
Okay. All right.
I
So
love this scene a lot. Actually.
yeah, this scene is great. Like she comes into her room. Kristen Cole lets her in. He's her personal bodyguard, and she finds a bag. And in that bag, there's like a boy's clothes and a little map showing her a secret chamber. And she takes the secret chamber, which is behind a tapestry. Let's not forget that. It's like, oh, maybe it's not a tapestry, but I wanted to believe that. And she finds Daemon waiting for her. And I find it funny that it takes her through this area once again. So it's like, is this a way to sneak out normally? Because why wouldn't she have done it before? I was hoping it would like, yeah, go ahead, buddy.
I think this is more of a callback to like Arya, and she's like playing in the first Game of Thrones
In the crypts?
book, and she's like trying to find the cat, and then she ends up down there, and then hears Varys, and then she ends up running out of the sewer.
Yeah.
But you also see a bunch of the rats like crawling around on the Velaryon skull.
Yep.
I think that was like very symbolic of what they're trying to show about House Targaryen, and like this reign.
Yeah, that's true.
That's deep, Mason.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to do a poll about every time. I'm doing a poll right now that says, because I think it was Katina that said it, but every time you see or hear the message, do you hear it in the drinker's voice? Because I do.
Yeah.
You know. So that's the question.
With these secret entrances and exits, like to me, I always think about it like, if she can sneak out that way, then anyone else can sneak in that way, and I wouldn't feel great about that.
Absolutely. Like if you come in from the other direction, what's to say you don't find that?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it's easier to find a hidden door on the opposite side, right?
Yeah.
But she gets out and they're going through the city, and man, I love this scene just for the, not just the debauchery, and we get to see boobs finally, but
Oops.
boobs, but you got like circus acts in the middle of the street and fire eaters and just people banging in the alley, and she's amazed and I think intoxicated with it. I don't know, what did you guys get from just going before they get to the brothel?
I felt like it was an interesting date. They got a show, got some drinks, got to see the city.
Yep. Got to take in a play.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I like that part.
Yeah. So we'll skip, this next part is.
I like how she was just like in her face, you could see her eyes just getting big with all the stuff that she was taking in.
It's like a first time, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
And
as a regular person.
I'll kind of skip back. We'll go back to the other one, but they're watching this play, and the play makes her look terrible. Her whole family look terrible, but it's a comedy.
It reminded me of when Arya saw that play.
I was just about to say.
I was thinking another play episode.
Right. But again, Daemon tries to show her this is what the people, you need them to like you, and she's like, no, I don't. And he's like, you're wrong. Like, this is what you will never become queen if this is what they think of you. I think it was a powerful moment.
Yeah, definitely teachable.
Yeah, but does she get it? I don't know.
You know, that's the thing too, is that they make the realm's delight comment in a condescending way, but I think that's one thing the show hasn't done enough of, is show her. The book shows that, talks about how loved she was. We haven't really seen that.
Right. So that was written in the Maester Gildane's books.
Right. Yeah, right.
But was that all just bullshit? Is it
They
something
seem to make a joke of it here.
Right.
Yeah,
and did he
right.
twist that because he's writing it way after? So or
You guys are smart.
Right after. Yeah, I don't know.
But like, they don't even give us a reason to like Rhaenyra. Like, she's way too headstrong. You don't get the like any softness, any sort of like very slow motion where you can relate to her in some one way. You just get her saying like, I need the throne because my father said I am the heir. I want to do this. I don't want to marry.
But I think that's kind of realistic. I mean, think about it like this. She's a celebrity, right? So nobody really knows her. They just know what they see. And if she, this beautiful little girl, little Targaryen kid, they're going to think, she's awesome until she actually rules.
Well, that's what Lady Balefire says. She should still be really popular right now. Well, in the books, yeah, but don't forget the books are a third narrator or an unreliable narrator written for somebody. Most likely I think it was written for the Mad King in Fire and Blood. So he's going to put positive, even if it's not his direct line, he's going to put positive things about Targaryens and leave out others. So maybe, yes, most people think she's the love of everybody in Westeros, but in reality, the High Lords are using it as a slur or a slant on her.
And depending on how well the people are living, they could be using it as a slant too. If they're struggling, because Daemon did tell us that crime was, there's like a crime wave or something going on.
Yep.
So if the people aren't happy right now, then they're going to hate the leadership. That's how it always is.
Right. So we'll jump back. This is the part where we start to see how bad he's falling apart, and Patty's just a you can feel it.
I couldn't watch this.
He is sored up, dude. Sores everywhere, and he's just falling apart.
Yeah, later on you get that really good shot of his back, and you just see all the different scabs and just.
I was just waiting for Alicent to drop that robe, and I was just disappointed it didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, come on, she's kind of hot,
She is.
We got 76 people watching right now. Thank you guys. Hit like, share, all that good stuff. Please subscribe to the panel. And if you're not subscribed here, please subscribe. I'm supposed to say that every once in a while because it helps. They tell me.
She's caring for him.
Yeah. She does her wifely duty. And I don't think it is. I think until that comment again from Rhaenyra, she enjoyed her wifely duty. Think about what she went through being Otto's daughter. Well, now she's the queen. She doesn't have to yes, she has to sleep with this old sword dude, but she doesn't have to put up with his shit anymore. Really?
Right.
Well, I mean, like last episode, you see her like actually enjoy herself. Like when they're all in the RV going to the hunting ground.
Yeah.
She's smiling and talking to Rhaenyra, and she seems like genuinely happy. And then you see her in the tent later on, and she's like smiles to Viserys, and then Viserys calms down instead of insulting the Lannister Lord even further. It seems like she does have love for him.
Yeah,
she does seem to love him. She cares for him for sure.
I think she does, and I think she enjoys the trappings of being a queen.
Yeah,
but I think when she thinks about her future, that this is all she'll ever be.
That's it. And I think that slapped her in the face.
She's probably like thinking about like the trade-off of like, I used to be able to walk around and talk to people and they tell me what they really think, but now everybody gives me this like sugar-coated answer. Like they won't tell me the truth anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very, very valid point, man. But And I'm betting like it almost seems like when even at the name day she had ladies surrounding her, and it's like all she has is like maids now. That's it. There's nobody else. She doesn't go visit anybody. I think Zack, you said that perfectly. Like that window was supposed to look like bars, like to make her feel trapped. You know, the baby crying. I think it's all, and she tries to handle it as queenly as possible, but you know, it gets to a point where even Viserys sees it.
Yeah.
So now we're I don't know if I could show the pleasure house stuff. So
He
we're not
takes her through a brothel.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what this part was though with
Just take your niece to work day.
Right. So let's yeah,
Literally.
we'll skip that part altogether. Well, we'll talk about it,
The
but
chat was wondering how you were going to handle it.
yeah, I don't know how. I'm just gonna say boobs. Good boobs at that too. You know, like that's a really good brothel if you look at that one.
I mean,
like,
after this, you could see why some people thought he was "quote unquote" training her.
yes, I believe he was, but then it's
Is Daemon
almost.
a groomer?
I think it's called grooming. Yeah.
I don't know if we could say that on YouTube, but yes, he was grooming her. No, I'm just kidding, man. Fuck that. Let him strike it. But he was, and I think he when he finally got to the point where the grooming worked, he stopped himself because maybe he was like, I don't want to, like this is wrong. Like I rather do it the right way, maybe.
So I kind of see what you're saying, but the after show thing, they were like,
And Bob says, and with your uncle too. Nice. Go ahead, Mason. I'm sorry.
The after show thing was talking about it, like he kisses Rhaenyra, expecting her to fight it, and then she pulls him closer, and then he doesn't like this, and I think they say he couldn't get it up or something like that.
I don't buy that.
I think they need to shut up and let us imagine.
Yeah,
because it wasn't played like that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mason. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like it was way more of like, I really want to do this, but it feels so wrong to do it this way, especially like here with like 20 other people watching.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and I also think it's not even about those people. I think he had this planned out. It was actually now happening, and he realized like I care for this kid. You know, not child, but this young lady. I care for. I may even have feelings for her because I mean, if you read the books, it goes down the line. You know, like, and I really think he's thinking, okay, her first time up against the wall in a brothel might not be the best place.
I think so. I think it also sort of it shows us this dynamic with him or within him between wanting to fulfill his plan, because I think this was all very much part of his plan. I mean, he took off their disguises and everything, so he knew word would get back to the castle. But I think that he thought for a moment about what it could do to her,
right?
Like emotionally, to have all of this play out and her to figure out like he set the whole thing up and he was using her and all of that because he does love her.
Yeah,
we've seen that. And I think that's what stopped him. It wasn't she's getting into it. I don't think he would have cared so much about that, but when he thought about the consequences of it and how it might affect her, how it might affect his brother and all of that, I think that's where he was like, this is a line I can't cross.
Right.
Yeah, like he doesn't know if he does this, if once she realizes what he did, if she will still love him after that. Like he wants to get married to her, and then then if something were to happen to her, then he's right there for the Iron Throne. But he also does have love for her. I don't know if he would kill her or not to get the Iron Throne, but he definitely wants her to love him back.
I don't think that for them to say that he couldn't get it up is so derivative. It makes the story so much worse.
Yeah,
if that's what it really was. Like the story we're telling is much better than that.
Yeah, and it wasn't the first time, Mike. I would say he got it up. He just couldn't finish. You know, like I think there was too much on his mind. He just couldn't. You know, he just didn't It happens.
And
It's
they
like every
reference
time it happens, it's because he's conflicted about something, some
There you
family
go.
drama.
and Lady Misery referenced getting him a silver-haired girl to finish with too
Right.
at that point. So
Right.
Yeah.
And Naya, I actually starred your question or what you actually right here because we have it. So now we have so there's a part where Alicent is getting dressed. We'll come to that part next, but so Daemon spurns her, takes off because
Leave her there.
I just he just can't even face her. I think at that moment, and he's hammered.
But I'm like, how she's? I guess she could.
How
just
dumb
back.
I mean, come on. Now she doesn't have the hat on. I mean,
Yeah,
she's a pretty girl.
He made sure to take the hat.
Yeah.
But, so was that like completely on purpose to get somebody to find her
I
and
was
tell the king,
wondering.
or was that to because he thinks the all Targaryen features are just like a big turn on or something?
I don't. Well, no, but I was about to ask that question. Like, he takes the hat. Because Daemon, I'm always thinking on different levels. Is he playing chess or checkers? I don't know. Like, does he take the hat knowing there's spies everywhere? Like, so she will get
Absolutely.
caught. So this will come out to light, and he could then ask his brother, you know, in the most worst way ever, I want to marry her.
Yeah, I think that's what it was because he knew. I mean, he's a regular at this brothel,
Right.
right?
So-
So everybody knows who he is, and everybody knows who she is once the hat is off.
Yep.
So it had to be intentional,
Right.
but he
Yeah.
just couldn't follow through with actually doing anything.
Right. I'm with you. Like, it's one of those things where it was either just he felt a certain way, like just couldn't deal with it in the moment because he is immature and just took off not even realizing that he took the hat, or it was calculated. I never know, and I kind of like that.
Yeah,
It's the way Matt Smith plays him, because in the books, to me, he's a lot cooler, but Matt Smith plays him sometimes very childish. So I don't
I
know.
think that's part of it, though. I think
Yep.
that's his as the younger brother, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we get to this part, and now she is teasing Kristen Cole, and yeah, I can't show that part either.
This is like this was actually
this is
kind of
wrong.
disturbing.
This is wrong. Thank you, because Naya puts it like this.
I thought so too.
Well, she wrote this. The fact that Sir Kristen Cole throws away his honor while Daemon didn't. Okay, I completely disagree. I felt like he thought it was his. He had to, because he's a king. He has to do what they want him to do. You know, like I feel like he felt like I'd be fucked if I don't do this.
And could get his head cut off if he did. I mean, if he did, it's like she did not care about his life
At all.
He's a plaything to her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her uncle got her turned on, and now she just wants to.
She goes back and she sees this guy, and she's just gonna make him do what she wants because she can. Because he just told her that this is a place where people take what they want. So
Yep.
she goes back home and sees him, and
It's a
she's
power
a
play.
teenager who's just been exposed to sex. She wants to do it, and she takes what she wants.
Yep.
Never mind what this could mean for this guy. You know, he has vows that he's taken for celibacy. Like, he's not even. She throws off his armor. Like, the only thing he's able to save is his cloak.
Right. Right. Like, I just, and you watch him folding his stuff, Zach.
Yeah.
And you know he's just like, I really have to do this? Like, to me, that's how it was. And if you know the story, is this the moment that changes things?
I think that like him maybe
Yeah.
being attracted to her, he probably was. In fact, I'm sure
Oh,
he
yeah.
was. But he knows this is a very thin margin where he comes out of this alive. Either way.
Right. And I don't
And-
even know. Well,
And
Zach,
he
I'll let
knows
you
that,
go
but
on.
He says no.
Well, like, does he? I think he is. I mean, he's a man. He knows she's attractive, but I think he actually respects her for the fire she has and the will she has. It seems like there's a respect and friendship there, and she's just like, and to him right at this moment doesn't mean anything. You are my plaything.
Yeah, I don't think she ever had any feeling toward him at all. Like, I feel like to her, he was basically the help. He's there to guard her, and that's it.
Yeah.
And in this moment, she decides she's going to do something different with her toy.
Yeah.
look, I
And
she
I mean,
names
this is
him.
the thing. People keep saying like he wanted her, he was attracted to her.
It's not the
You
point.
can be attracted to somebody and
Right.
not want to actually have sex with them,
Right.
especially
Oh
if
no,
have
you
this
could
other
want to have sex with them,
responsibility.
but you have self-control. I mean, this is you took for a commoner to take the vow that he did for that usually only goes to lords and high lords, second sons. He literally got like the greatest job a commoner, like it's awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't get laid, but
And
whatever.
he takes it seriously. Like this
Very
is a real
serious.
honor for him.
Yep.
And I think, like what you said, this does lead up to what we see with him in the future and his actions because he is used in this moment. He does throw away. She throws away
Yep.
everything, and she takes a choice away from him in a way that
Yep.
is just
Any bond they ever had, gone. She
is
broke it.
gone.
Like this is the one where like, two friends hook up and one it just felt like, oh, I feel like I have to type thing. I'm not saying these things happen ever, but sometimes they're like, oh, should we, shouldn't we? And then the next day you're both like, why?
I just think the power imbalance is something you can't ignore in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, so she names him to the
Reverse.
Kingsguard. Like she clearly thought he was kind of handsome. And was like,
Yep.
ooh, okay, I'm gonna, make you celibate for the rest of your life.
Pretty fucked up.
And then she makes him break this vow.
She created that Kingsguard and then destroyed it. That's
Yeah.
a valid point, man.
I mean,
It is
I don't know.
messed up. It is messed up. So, we see it. They get it on. It's it's a scene. They have fun. And the next morning, Daemon wakes up, with Lady Misery. And she owns a building, a brothel. I don't know. But she is moving on.
a hotel maybe.
Yes,
Isn't she the madam or no?
in the book she is, I believe.
Okay.
Or she was a dancer in the books and maybe then a man. I don't remember, but
She has money. She got him a room.
she got him a room. Things are great. She's doing like, see my ex, I'm doing better than him right now type thing, kind of throws him a little knowledge and he's so hammered. He just doesn't, he is beyond drunk. Like his hangover is, I thought he was drugged when he comes into the king's chamber, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong. And aren't they supposed to have higher than normal constitution, the Targaryens?
Yeah, I believe so.
He probably did drunk. I wouldn't put it past her.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, she, and I want to think that's why he knocked over the drink because he knows what she's all about,
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah. Nice catch.
Yeah.
yeah, he ain't
He's
dumb.
attracted to crazy.
Yeah, he knows it.
I just thought he was like, I deserve this for what I did last night, and was like just gonna deal with it.
Oh, I just have to get, Sherpa is still in the chat, dude. I don't know if you caught it before, but thank you so much for the $49.99, and then again with another $9.99. Wow. Do you guys think Rhaenyra's bastard child? Well, yeah. I guess we could talk about that. Is Sir Cole's okay in the books or here? We'll have to talk about it because I don't hear it. Depending the time jump, it can't be. Why don't we talk? You know what? I will table this super chat for down the road. Don't let me forget, Sherpa. Do not let me forget when we get closer. But thank you so much for the $9.99. I thank everybody for super chats. Members, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate people that gift memberships. You guys are awesome. What's funny?
What Joseph said about the Targaryens.
Fire, but really get hammered with alcohol. But he's overly. So I thought for a second maybe he was drugged the way he walks in. This is the scene where Otto overstepped.
Yeah, he should really have just not.
He should have held on to it.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen, okay? Maybe I'll get to that after. I have a question, but this is where the king his spy brings Otto knowledge about what happened the night before. He presents the king with did we miss it? Yeah, we missed the scene where, I'm sorry because I can't show it, but we missed the scene where Alicent was summoned to his bedchambers.
Yeah.
Summoned to his
He
bedchambers
was like,
late
it's
at night.
late. It's late.
Yeah.
Yeah, the king
The
wants you now.
king's he knows it's late too. Let's go. And he, it's sad. Like she's just sitting there like taking it, and he's humping away. He's all,
And then right after,
dying.
the man is conked. He's just like asleep.
But he does catch her look. Like he knows she's not into it. Like at least that's what I get from it. Like you can't miss that. You can't miss her not. Like the girl she can't even throw out a fake like
The thing is, he's too sickly to even like try to seduce her.
No. That was I'm getting my rocks off. Zach.
Let's give him credit for at least calling his wife when he's the king. He could have called anybody.
Amen, brother.
Well, he's trying to make more babies.
True.
Well, that's it. And again, Jayne, you said it at the beginning, or I think it was Jayne. You usually say the smartest things. It goes down the line. She's told, I don't want to be a baby factory. She's alone with the baby. And now he's summoning her. Why? Probably to produce more. She just gave birth, not too long ago. Like, you're never getting a break. That's pretty much what he's telling you.
Nope.
It's messed up.
Barefoot and pregnant.
That's it. That's the way it should still be. God, I miss the 50s. So yeah, he gives him hell, dude. Yeah, go on.
Real quick with this scene, like right before this scene, you have Otto standing in a room, and he's kind of like off in the corner, like staring, and you can tell that he's thinking about like what to do with this information. Just
Right.
like how Alicent was thinking about her situation, he's thinking about like how can I use this? Like, do I just say it? Do I tell the king? Do
Right.
I sit on this? Like it. I don't know. I think he has some love for the king, and out of that, he did say that.
Right.
Maybe not in the right way, because I don't think he could use this in the.
This is one he should have
I'm
held
rambling.
on to. No. I know what you're saying. He was weighing his options. Like, should I tell the king? Should I like use this against Rhaenyra?
Yeah.
Should I use it against Daemon?
Yeah.
Like he could have. There was options, and he's thinking about all of them.
Yeah,
Real
I
quick, Katina, it is. He lied. Daemon lied about her having a baby. Miss Lady Misery. That was the whole thing, because she asked what happened to that baby. He lied about it in the books.
Yeah.
Actually, she was pregnant, but
What
back to
Otto
this.
could have
Zach.
done, Otto should have told him that there's this rumor out there that was brought to me. I don't believe it can be true. It's not true. I'm going to get this guy. Whoever's spreading it's going to bring him in your head. That way
Right.
he plants the seed, but he's saying, I don't believe it to be true.
But I have to
can-
tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Would
when
you
you
think?
Still,
ahead.
it's the only reason you would bring this to my attention is for me to make your grandchild the heir.
No,
Like,
but
disinheriting her is the
no.
only thing to be gained here.
He could play it off. He could be like, this is what I've been hearing
Yeah,
whispers.
not true.
How do you want me to handle it? I'll kill them all. Like it's not got around too much. Should I take care of it? Like the people talking, like stuff like that. Mason, what do you think?
So two things. One, when Otto was in the room alone debating, you could see some actual like inner turmoil going on about if he's going to have to tell the king. And when he does, there's plenty of things that could have come out of this conversation. Like he could have been like, we need to make sure Rhaenyra's like under a little bit of control. Like if the princess to an heir to the Iron Throne just has a bunch of bastards, how are you going to do the line of succession?
Right.
Like that's going to call into question, like if she gets married and has a kid, is that really the guy's kid? Like it's already starting.
Right.
Yeah, it's a difficult. If I were him, I wouldn't have said anything, because look, at the end of the day, you're fighting against people, and I said this before when he went up against a Daemon and Dragonstone.
Mm-hmm.
You're going up against people with dragons. Is your life worth it?
Right.
Is your life worth it? Your grandchild's already there. He's part of the family. Your family's tied to the Targaryens forever. That's fine. You've done all you can do. Is this news worth what you're about to lose potentially?
Well, think about, but what did he do with Daemon? He thought about that, Zach, and he still went there knowing he might die.
He keeps doing it.
So like this guy,
I mean,
and also Zach,
Oh,
his
yeah.
brother, like a year ago was like, get him to name him heir. So I think he's like, feels like he's running out of time.
I think it's a tough
Well, this
situation
could
for
also-
Otto to work through too, because he's like, if he doesn't tell him, and the king finds out from somewhere else that Otto knew this and didn't tell him, then he's going to get it for that too. So you kind of have to let him know that someone said something, but then you don't have to say that you believe it, which is the thing where he backs up whoever his source was. Where I was that was a surprise, because the king even gave him an out to say, well,
Yeah.
obviously they're lying, and he could have said, I agree.
Right.
Your
But
grace.
how do you want me to handle it? Right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this could just be him trying to get rid of Daemon a second time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just came back and he's like, "Oh, guess what?"
Well, that's what Joseph says. He's brought him two about Daemon, the heir for a day, which we don't know if that was true, and the princess and Daemon, because we never hear Daemon say the heir for a day, but we find later on in this same episode he doesn't deny something that is a lie.
This might have been the only way to play it would be to, Daemon has done something again.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you want me to handle
Daemon
it?
has done something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. He definitely overstepped his bounds.
I wouldn't
and
have said a word. I'm sorry.
I would have kept it to myself. But Otto tried. Otto, he feels like he has to, I guess.
His brother's pressuring. I mean, maybe, and that's the thing
true.
too. It's like
Yeah,
the pressure he's putting on his daughter is the same pressure his brother's putting on him. Their
Absolutely.
family is trying to force them up the social ladder.
Yep.
Well, Otto also has. Later on, you get told that him and Viserys have, like, they're friends, they're co-workers, and he also has this kind of fatherly relationship with him, because like he says that Otto taught him how to be king,
Well,
like
that's
what
the
the king
thing.
was supposed to do.
And they're like related by blood now with
Yeah,
their-
now he's his father-in-law.
like and he's like, and he pretty much says that, like, you overstep, dude. Like, but Sledge, you're right. Otto, the guy who plays Otto, is awesome, dude. Like
Yeah.
they're all so, and he's the same guy who played like the hooligan kicker on the Replacements, that Keanu Reeves football movie. Like that's the same guy, and he's so good in this. He's so good in this. Like I really like. I think the actors did amazing.
Yeah. I felt
Yeah.
bad for him. I really did.
Yeah.
That was a tough position to be in.
And but Jane, you have to admit, like, damn, they've made it so I feel bad for Otto. They're doing a
know.
good job.
And I despised him.
Yep. From the books, everything. Zach?
No, I think they've done a fantastic job of making these characters into actual people. They come across as real, and you don't like things about them. You do like things about them, but they're well rounded. And for Otto, that's a tough position. I think Jane's right. Like, why he brought the information to him was to his own advantage. But I think had he played it differently, he would have worked out better for probably everyone. And
Right.
all he has to do is trigger Viserys to ask his brother, because then Daemon's going to be Daemon and say, "Yeah, we fooled around,"
Yep.
and then it doesn't come from Otto.
Yep. So, Alicent comes to Rhaenyra like hard on her. And I was glad to see that, because you could tell it's actually like she's disgusted at first, but then it's also like her friend, and really the disgust is because she's so concerned she threw away her life.
Yeah,
I
she's
thought
not sure whether to be like the mother or the best friend,
right.
and it's caught between both of them. But
Yep.
both
Yeah.
points of view are very concerned about Rhaenyra jeopardizing her future.
But you
Yeah.
also get to see her manipulative side too, because she goes to her as if she's actually concerned with your grace, sister, and starting to deny it. But then she also says that the accusation itself is treason.
Right.
Like, I could have your dad killed for even saying it.
Right.
So it's like this subtle threat as well.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? I mean, I remember her saying that, but I didn't think about it. It's not even that subtle. It's like, your dad could be murdered for this shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Keep
come
talking.
on. Keep talking, girl. Keep talking. I got a dragon. What? Like, I'd be doing that to everyone. I'd be Daemon. Like, what did you say? Do you whistling the dragon over?
Like, who she is, she could literally kill all of these people and get away with it. But
everywhere. I just burned the whole place. Like, I pull a Danny. Like, oh, yeah, you guys are talking shit.
What did they see?
Yeah, exactly.
Burn the whole brothel to the ground.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess nothing ever happened because there's no brothel there.
Yeah.
Fucking great. But she comes at her hard at this point. And then all of a sudden you see there was almost a shift. Like Rhaenyra like begs her pretty much like to believe her, and Alicent it kind of falls for it because this was what I was thinking through this whole part. Okay. They say she slept with Daemon. She ends up sleeping with Cole. Somehow they're going to force her to get her maidenhead checked out by, the maesters. And it's going to show that it's broken. So, like, she actually did have sex. Like, that's where I thought they were going with this. But no one ever thought of, like, let's just prove this point and send somebody up to check her out. I mean, they did that.
I think Viserys knew. So I think that's part of it. And I think it wasn't even so much that she was going out about doing her thing.
Yeah.
Because they are Targaryens. But the fact that just her getting caught, how she went about it, Daemon was involved. It was just too much. It's like, why do we even have a daughter?
Right.
Well, like the end of the episode kind of confirms that he doesn't believe her.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. I was going to say that. I mean, he totally drops the moon tea on her. So Daemon's walking up, stumbling. Look, he's just he's so hammered.
He's so crazy.
And he looks like a beggar. So they grab him, and I think he realizes after they start dragging him, like this is serious. Well, something happened, and they throw him. They throw him on the ground, and Viserys is a dad, absolutely a dad for once. Like he is pissed.
Here comes the dragon.
Yeah. He actually has a little bit of dragon in him, kicks his brother, asks him, and he doesn't deny it. And it's can you imagine that? Like, you're the king, your brother's an asshole, your whole life, all you want is your brother to be like cool and with you. And he just keeps fucking that up. And now next thing you know, he banged your daughter. That's what you believe. And he admits to it. So in his mind, this happened. I don't care what Rhaenyra says. He can't get out Daemon saying he did it. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how much you trust your daughter, the guy admitted to banging her. Like, I don't know.
Well, he didn't say it. He just didn't deny it.
That's true.
I think, in the chat, something I thought about too is that Nias, I think it's pronounced this, said this about the moon tea, how it's kind of it's almost a trap.
Yes.
Like, if she drinks it, she's
admitting
she did something.
Yeah. Like, I didn't expect that. I thought the maester brought it, and it was actually like Otto sending it.
It may have been, but because it came from the king, I think that her cover for that would be that I'm just doing what the king told me to do.
And that's what I was saying. I was thinking that after the fact, because I was like, even if it isn't the king, because think about it, maester brings it to her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Conspiracy.
Yeah, it will be Otto,
But right, he picked the wrong. Like he should have been like, just say you made it. Like you heard and you thought, hey, no matter what, it's real or not, can't hurt.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. Damn it. All right, and so he throws him out. Get out of my freaking sight. Go back to your bronze, wife.
Oh yeah.
Not gold, bronze, gold. I mean, he's heartbroken. Like he's done with his brother though.
Bush made a good point too. He said, "I bet that cold stone floor feels incredible with this hangover."
I was.
He was quite comfortable on the ground.
You see him just go back to sleep after this.
Right. J Raquel 7, thank you for being here. Alicent seems so grossed out by the idea of Rhaenyra and Daemon. I'm curious to see how her opinion on Targaryens incest ships evolves in the future. Cough, egg on hell. Yeah. At this moment, it must be weird for her. I mean, really?
She does use that Q word for weird.
Yeah.
Which is problematic in today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was joking last night. I was like, that's why they called this episode controversial.
Right. She
definitely looks down on their practices.
Yes, on their practices, right? But but it works in her favor down the road too, or at least she uses it in her favor. Correct?
Could have.
Yeah, could have.
Sooner.
So, and then we have to get this thrown in.
Oh God.
Dude, can anybody else tell, anybody in the chat, let me know. Oh, let me finish my poll first, and then I'll ask the question. Poll had 47 votes. Do you hear the drinker's voice? And 80% of you say yes, you hear the drinker's voice anytime someone says the message. So, that's good. That's good. My question now, and I'm not going to make a poll, is why? I understand why they added it, because they're like, hey, people remember Game of Thrones, but I really think it takes away from what they're building here. They have something really good, and they don't need the prophecy. Like, the prophecy means nothing in this era, but yet they're making it like a focus. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just why. I think this is clearly a George thing because it does not fit anywhere else. It just seems like he just wanted it in for some reason.
So I kind of like it. I wish they would do it, I don't know, maybe a little differently. But it is giving motivation for, like, Rhaenyra to try and keep everyone together, try and keep House Targaryen strong, and keep all 7 of the kingdoms together.
Yeah.
So it could be just feeding into her motivations later on.
Maybe later on. You know, but like I don't know. Yeah.
I don't buy
right now.
We know it doesn't work. We know this is not, the prophecy doesn't come true. We know what happens there. And it's so, for us, like, as an audience, that doesn't draw me in. And if that's motivation for her that we don't buy, I don't know if that really helps her character with us long term.
I kind of think it also, this whole prophecy.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even brought that up.
This whole prophecy, I think
there you
it
go.
undermines the larger story a little bit about the conquest and everything. But as far as I'm concerned, there is no ending yet because we don't have the books.
Right.
So
Amen.
He could have changed everything to where this has meaning, but right now it's just a wound that you're reopening for no reason.
Never have the books.
Shut up, Zach. All I know is this. No way. Even if the books don't come out, my canon, Arya Stark does not kill whatever.
Don't say that.
There is no Night King, I mean, in the books. We know this, but she doesn't take them all down in one shot. So he's talking to her about this, and then, you know, how important perception is. Like, and no matter what she says to him, he believes she banged his brother. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Well, he even says, like, it doesn't matter what you did.
Right.
No, people are going to talk now.
Right.
True.
And there's also a line in there, and she's like, if I was a guy, I could just, have sex with whoever I wanted. I could be, like, knee deep in as many brothels as I want. And he's like, yeah, that's true, but you're not a man.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of disagree with that line. Like, people still look down on guys that have a bunch of bastards too. Like, how many people talk about how many bastards King Robert had?
Yeah.
Like, Jon Snow was a giant scandal.
I mean, like, it was the biggest blemish on Ned Stark ever, you know?
Exactly. You know, it's a breach of your honor.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of people could look down on somebody that has a bunch of bastards.
Right,
like,
but
how can I trust you?
But in the long run, they don't look down that much. Like, look, Robert can have 23 or whatever bastards, but they still know he's the king.
It doesn't interfere with the line of succession too when it's a guy, because those kids will never be on the throne. But with her,
Aegon.
With her, she's gonna give birth to these children, so everybody will know that these will be the heirs.
Right.
And they need to know the paternity. But at the same time, I think Daemon had a point too that they're Targaryens. It's like, again, he loses sight of how much power they have. There should be this balance between respecting the people and their opinions and thoughts, and also understanding that you can draw a line.
Right.
And there is nothing anyone can do to question him if he said his daughter was pure as a driven snow.
Right.
If he had 100 men. It wouldn't matter. what are they gonna say?
Right.
There's
Feed them
dragons
to your
behind
dragon.
them.
Right.
Exactly.
You
That's
feed
true.
the first maybe 2 guys that say it to the dragon after you tell them she's a virgin and they're like, no, she isn't. You feed them to your dragon. No one's going to talk about
No
it.
question whatsoever.
No. And your dragon's going to be happy. Yeah,
I
Zach.
get the, I get the point they're making on this one, but at the same time, this is just after she's forced one of the Kingsguard to have sex with her, and then if anyone finds out, he's dead. So
Well, yeah.
It blows
the
my
balance
mind.
is kind of off there too, right? Like
Yeah.
context matters.
Right. And
Literally.
that's a really valid point, man. She doesn't even think about that.
No.
It's all about her. She is so about her. Like, that's why, like, bringing in the dagger, like, is that what they're gonna have to do? Because they wrote her very selfish. Like, is that what we're gonna have to, like, lean on to, like, if anybody ever kind of like, oh, I hope she gets it, I hope she wins, that doesn't know the story. And yes, Joseph, it is the dagger. It is the dagger.
I think that goes back to the layers of you can't accept or like any of these characters without also accepting the flaws that go along with them, like real people.
By Katina. Yeah. Right. You're absolutely right. And it is a double standard. And you know what? Even today, no matter what people think, it's still in civil society a double standard when it comes to sex. Because the woman takes all the responsibility, like truly in the long run.
Even in the short run, because you're still, even today, I mean, having a child is incredibly risky.
Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah. So and then it happens. The one time I kind of felt bad for Otto.
You see so much like shock just on his face.
And pain.
Pain.
Yeah.
Literal pain was expressed here.
Yeah, it was rough.
He broke a little bit.
Yeah. And also, like, think about it, because he has to go back to his brother now.
Oh,
And I failed. I am no longer the hand of the... Like, think about that. Like, it's not just the king getting rid of him. He's like, holy shit, I failed.
yeah.
I went too... You played the long game, man. You could have played it a little longer, but he just got too pushy.
But I think too, Viserys is not thinking either, because even if you have now, it's come to you that this guy's a problem, that he's a
Right.
snake, that he's in it for himself, that he's trying to manipulate you. It makes more sense to keep him close.
Right.
Yeah, I
Then
mean,
to
at least
let him
you go ahead.
off leash to do
Right.
whatever.
Right.
I mean, at least you know like his motives and what he wants. Like you bringing in somebody completely different, you have no idea what they want. You got to start from square one.
Yeah. And Zach, I love how he just throws it in his face. Like, I didn't see it then, but I got that you put your daughter right in there when I was at my weakest. Like,
Yep.
well played, but I got your number now. You got him good in this moment.
Yeah, it was. You could feel the pain too from Otto that he really doesn't think he didn't expect this to happen apparently, and
Right.
it really did hurt him when it did, because I think he seems as though he does believe he's working in the best interest of Westeros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made me believe it.
Yeah.
Well, and think about it. He's been the hand for quite a while. I mean, he was, the just Jaehaerys' hand for a bit, and Viserys since he started. So there wasn't always a plan to marry his daughter off to him. He had a wife. His daughter was young. He truly wanted that job and probably cared for Viserys and tried to make him the best king he could be. And then, greed and family obligations pushed him to go a little too far, I guess.
Yeah.
He overplayed his
Yeah.
hand.
Overplayed his hand, definitely. And
Overplayed his hand.
yeah,
Done.
done. Wow, that was a good one. And then we get the moon tea. Daddy doesn't believe you. Better take plan B.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. And she is just shocked by that, but realizes, Daddy don't believe me. I would show the trailer, but I get nailed every time I do. So did you guys watch the trailer for next week?
Yeah. I did.
Okay. What did you think? Hey, great channel right here, guys. Make sure you, Zaz. Not High Scott. Anyways, he has 10K. I guess everybody loves him. But we love you. Great channel. You're a sweetheart. I see you in DMs and chats. So thank you for stopping by. What do you guys think about next week? What do you think is gonna happen? Thank God we have the kids one more week at least.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to them aging up.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched it. The trailer,
Yeah, I'm
which
trying to remember it now.
I
should get
didn't
fired
watch
for
it.
that, I think.
The only thing I can remember is that Otto was still in King's Landing.
He's like warning Alicent, you have to something like. I
Yeah.
remember him like telling her something before he leaves, like you have to get. If Viserys dies, there will be a war. You have to protect, your Aegon. You have to get him on the throne.
Yeah, they were saying a lot of stuff about Viserys, like punching out.
Right. And he's definitely this next episode. Will he die this episode?
I think so. I think.
Well, wait a minute.
Is it going to be another time jump?
It can't be. It has to be a time jump when he dies, right? Yeah, it has to be because the war does. Yeah, okay. So, that's it, guys. What did you think? Let's final thoughts, Jayne, and what final thoughts, Jayne? What did you?
Yeah, I'm very excited about next episode. I have watched this one repeatedly. I cannot say the same for Rings of Power, which I barely remember any of it. Everything. It's an amazing show. They're doing a great job so far. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I can't wait to see more dragons, even though, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything is just playing out really well. And I am enjoying how they are giving us this different but familiar version of events.
Yes, definitely different.
So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
And I like how they preface it as, this is what really happened.
Yeah.
So you can't really blame them on that. But Naya's right. There is like a crazy fight at Laenor's, and they showed their wedding. I think it's their wedding, or at least their announcement of their engagement. There's
Why
a
would they have
massive
a
fight.
fight? Was there a fight in the books?
I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all.
Why would there be a fight at the wedding?
But it's like, it looks pretty severe too.
Ooh.
Yeah, I remember that now. Make sure you check it out after
Who's
this.
fighting though?
Yeah, I definitely
It's-
didn't watch it.
It's like the Aegon faction already. Like
Oh,
I'm
really?
pretty sure. I might be wrong. I'll have to watch it again and maybe do a short about it because I
Ooh.
don't do videos. They're
It's gonna be
too hard.
interesting.
Yeah. Mason, what do you think?
Look, I really like this episode, and the next episode looks like it's going to be like just as good. I'm so glad that we finally have a good show to watch and talk
Yeah.
about. I'm glad to be here every Monday.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good episode. I love talking about characters and their motivations. Yeah, Daemon and Viserys are fighting over who's going to be my favorite.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this has been a lot of fun already, and I like how J Raquel 7 says that this is the prequel of the prequel of the prequel.
Right.
Like you got to view it that way. Zach, what did you think? Final thoughts.
I thought they've hit it out of the park so far. I was not expecting to enjoy this show as much as I am right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep it coming. And thanks
Yeah,
for having
that's
me
it.
here.
Oh, anytime. You know that every week. Maybe we'll have a guest next week. If you didn't catch Gary, you have to watch the whole thing through again. He might have been here. I don't know. Always invited. Next week, you'll see Jayne on his after show. So
Yay.
make sure you check that out. Jayne will be on Gary's after the episode review with, is it going to be with Anshad, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's awesome. So I will be there myself, and I hope everyone does, because Jayne will bring even though they're all smart guys, don't get me wrong, the IQ will go up. Oh God! For a split second, I thought that was Gary. Holy shit! I saw yellow. I was like, he's gonna yell at me. He's gonna so yell at me.
Hello.
I got a little nervous, Mr. Grant Gregory. So
everyone
tell us
doing?
everything you felt about the show. Go.
Okay, so I think the whole.
Oh, I
the whole
forgot to
plot-
ask your questions, dude.
Oh, you did? Oh,
I forgot to bring. He wrote out like 6 questions he wanted me to bring up, which were really good ones, and I totally didn't. Shit. Go ahead, ask him. Sorry.
Well, I'll go. I think one thing that I haven't heard so far from anyone is I think this whole episode was a 100% pure Daemon plot. I think that he knew taking her down there was going to cause these consequences. That it was also going to bring into line Otto's deception. He knows who runs that thing. He knows what's going on in the city, even when he's not there. There's nothing that he did that surprised me, except for the fact that he didn't think that she was going to be into it. That was the moment. Then he went, "Wait a minute. If I actually do deflower you now, then my plan doesn't work."
Yes,
because he was expecting them to go like that, and then the maces go and check her and find out that she's still a maiden. And then it puts Otto's lining into question, and then he gets moved off as the hand. I think this was all one giant ploy from Daemon.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
And the fact, and it was me that said earlier, the fact that he's a master of disinformation, not misinformation. He just doesn't say anything. He lets people draw their own conclusions. We never saw him say air for a day. It was implied, and he just didn't deny it. Same thing with this one. He didn't deny, and he didn't say I did it. He just said, well, this is another scenario that happened with us, to make other people infer what's going on. He's letting them hang themselves on their own thoughts.
And
I
Velaryon
think
did play that kid.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. And the fact that she saved him and everything, I think he knew that he put himself in a scenario where he knew that she would pick him up. I truly believe that, and that he's aware of her. That's why he called her a whore and everything. He got the information out of her without having to say anything.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant, man.
Yeah.
It makes sense the way you put it. It really does.
Yeah. He also didn't calculate that his niece would go to sleep with some other dude.
No,
That's what I'm
not
saying.
definitely not.
That's the thing that, and also with that, I'm not liking Sir Cole in this one. I like the book version of him more. I think this guy isn't as noble, because we saw him hit what's his name in the back during Daemon in the back during the thing, and now he's definitely slept with Rhaenyra. So I'm wondering if the whole strongman plotline that happens later on, with the accusations of the bastard children and everything, because we saw him in the last episode before last. He was at the hunt.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where's this going to go? Because Kristen and Rhaenyra don't have exactly a great relationship later on down the track. So,
No.
But now with this being a part of it, because how it was described in the stories that I've read, was he was disgusted by the idea of her willing to do that with him. That it was depending on whether it was Dunk.
See,
or
I feel like he
Mushroom
was
or-
forced. I felt like he couldn't say no.
Well, I
Like-
mean, that's two shows. That's two shows this week where there's been maybe a male sexual assault. Who knows?
Thank you, Joseph. I am going to do
Yeah.
while Grant keeps talking. I will do the poll about your scores. Thank you. Go
I
ahead.
think if the roles were reversed for Rhaenyra and Sir Kristen Cole, we'd have like 30 articles already.
Oh, yeah, easily.
That would have already been written before they came out.
But how they
So-
acted it, I mean, it did play out. Like, you could see in his face that, yeah, he is attracted to her, obviously. But as he's laying down that cloak, and then even when you see her go in past him to speak with her father later on, the fear in his face, like, is visible. Like, this is not someone who's comfortable in what he's doing or what he's done. And it shouldn't be that way. And she's responsible for that.
I mean, they killed the knights for breaking their vow on other things. Deflowering the princess is definitely something that he's going to lose a body part over. That's for sure.
Yeah. Shane Nolan, last night we were talking about the episode, and he said the last Kingsguard to break his oath got castrated and sent to the wall.
Yeah,
I
so that's what I mean. Like, it's I think there's definitely that fear of it, and maybe that's what her, because she's very reckless. Maybe her disregard for his potential safety is the reason that he ends up turning on her.
Yeah, because who knows? I mean, he doesn't know if she'll just say it, if she'll just tell everybody, because she doesn't care. And
And
if
he's seen
she
it
says
firsthand.
anything, that is
Well,
it. He will be dead.
Right, and he's
Yeah.
seen it firsthand how she just is so flippant about everything.
Hmm.
I use the word
The
flippant.
whole
Like, he would be
the whole mood-
terrified from now on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think maybe if that's the direction that they're going to go with it, that he's disgusted in her in the fact that she would have such a reckless regard for something that, you know, that she initiated, that she forced. It could be that way, because in the books he's constantly calling her the Whore Queen.
Yeah.
So like he's,
Which you never understand how that happened.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
they
see,
were-
because I always how I interpreted was because he probably
He knew
had,
the
had a
truth.
thing. He had a thing for it, and he knew, like, maybe this is the truth. Maybe the whole strong boys thing was just a cover, and maybe she doesn't drink the moon tea at the end. We don't know.
Or he has to watch her, do this with other guys, and it gets
Yeah.
him, jealous.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting thing too, is that what Damon has done, which this show has so many layers to it.
Yeah.
But what he's done by exposing her to so much sex all at once at such a young age is it's perverted in a way.
Yep.
Her
Well,
perspective
she's
on
18
sex.
now.
Well, I mean, she's 18, but this is still her very first experience
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but
seeing
yeah.
any of this.
I'm saying in comparison to the books when she was much younger and with different things, and I think
Right.
it was described that when she was taken down to the brothel, she was taught how to pleasure a
Right.
guy, and
That was the rumor.
but I mean that's from the perspective of Mushroom. Which, did you see the trailer for the next episode? Have you watched that one?
I watched it, but I barely remember it.
In the first, there's about 4 or 5 frames in the first couple of seconds where it looks like someone who I think is Mushroom playing on the drums. He looks like a jester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's when they introduce him, because most of the story that that I know comes from essentially his perspective. So I'm wondering if that's like maybe he was told it was I can't even remember the strong man. What's the strong that deflowered her.
Bone breaker.
Yeah, Clubfoot's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
that dude.
Yeah. Well, we all know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
And who knows? They may hook her up with several other guys.
Yeah.
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 I
It
mean,
might
she's
get.
just become completely promiscuous because of
Lot of
how
boobs.
she started.
Yeah. We're gonna see a lot of boobs.
Yeah, you
Yep.
also saw a couple of schlongs as well.
That is true. That is true.
You think if they do introduce Mushroom in there, we're going to see he's? Because
He
it's
needs to
something
be a
a lot.
monster. It needs to
Yeah.
be a monster.
A beer
yeah.
He
can.
looks like
Harwin.
Zax's arms holding an apple. That's what it needs to look like.
Harwin Strong. Harwin Strong is the one you're
Harwin,
talking
yeah.
about. You also, what else? You said,
real quick.
Okay.
What do you guys think was the most controversial thing about this episode?
yeah, I'm trying to
'cause
figure that out. The incest? I don't know. There
Yeah,
wasn't-
I
who
would have
hasn't
said
kissed their uncle?
I would
What?
have said the moon tea, but with what they said about
Oh.
the first episode and how it was supposed to be this big
Oh,
political
God.
thing, I don't think that they would think that would be as
I think it was the incest.
There was a lot of presuming gender going on too, so that could
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
controversial.
yeah.
I mean,
we
is
all
it
know
normal
how
for kids to hang out the front of brothels?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, where's that? There's just a random kid hanging out there. Like, maybe go across the street, kid. Jesus, you're bad for business.
If you notice where that kid
Ugh.
was standing, that was the same spot when Daemon and that walked down, and he took her hat off. As they walked down those exact same set of stairs, is where he took the thing off. So maybe he
Right,
knew the kid
that's-
was going to be there.
And that's what
why,
I was pointing out before, too. Like, did he do it? Was it a calculated thing that he knew this kid's a spy? Or did he do it just playfully? I don't know.
I think
I think
you're
he
right
wanted
that
to-
this was all a setup.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why he drunk himself into a stupor as well. There was a part of it. It's just like, oh, maybe I should have
Guilt.
just asked. No,
Yeah.
I can't ask for anything because I'm Daemon. I don't ask.
Yeah. It's crazy. Shane, no, moon tea is not just the pill. It's the Plan B pill. A little different.
They call it Plan T.
Yeah, they call
Yeah.
it Plan
You
M.
don't take it before, you take it after.
Yeah, you take it after. And just, it's the after one.
Well,
Yeah,
they made a point. He made a point about saying that if it's not brewed properly, it could do damage, because that's what happened with
The girl
what's
in the
her name?
veil.
Yeah. I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of a name. Yeah, the one who breastfed his son until he was 50.
Yeah,
Liza.
Cat
Aaron?
Liza.
Yeah, Liza Aaron. Yeah.
Aaron.
Robin. The kid.
You brought up another good yeah, Rob. You brought up another question. There's rumors. I don't know if they've been but but there's definitely
yeah.
a lot of rumors about Henry Cavill and Elizabeth Olsen joining the cast next
Is
season.
Aegon?
Well, that's the thing. Like,
A flashback?
I mean, in a flashback it would make more
I
sense.
would
but I
die.
mean,
He would have to be Aegon.
He'd
If
have to
he's
be
not
Aegon in a
Daemon,
flashback.
if he's not Daemon, he has to be Aegon. There's no other cool ass Targaryen in the.
It would have to be
wait a
Aegon.
minute. No, he's not One Eye. That's somebody else. Yeah, it would have to be.
That's initially everyone was saying he was going to be One Eye. And I'm like, I
No,
don't see it. I mean,
we've already seen pictures.
we've already
of him.
seen pictures. That's what I'm saying. But I mean,
Yeah.
they could easily just recast, and it would be just an in continuity error that wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But I think Liz Olsen will be. Oh my god! I just had all these names in my head. Sorry, I've just rushed home.
Don't worry.
The future queen.
Alicent.
Aemon's wife.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, wait a minute. Who's
Their son's wife. Oh my god.
whose son? Aegon?
Alice. Yeah, Aegon's wife.
Yeah. Helena? No.
Yeah,
Helena?
the one
Helena?
that's forced to the one that gets the Sophie's Choice moment.
Yeah. Her. I know who you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, I think.
You think that's going to be her?
I think that's gonna be her. Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought she'd be a different. She doesn't look Targaryen-ish to me.
No, she's 100% Valyrian. Oh wait, she can't. She's not dark enough. Never mind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Grant Gregory. It's been over 2.5 hours, so we're going to close it up, but I appreciate you stopping in and asking your questions. Also, keep an eye out for the awesome shorts I totally do myself, and Grant doesn't touch or do everything, upload them and do everything. They're so mine, so make sure you subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate that.
I want a flashback so bad.
Oh my God, will he be Aegon? Guys, let me
He
know, but
better
I got to
be.
finish my poll. Sorry, the poll is in. End poll. And dude, I had to do polls because you weren't here. 22 people voted. 9.5 to a 7 is 77%. So most people fall in there. 10 out of 10, 13%. 6.5 to 4.0. I wrote these all wrong. 4% and 1 to 3.5 was 4%. So mostly in the higher levels, which I agree with. Wow, we have 94 likes. That's great. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody, though.
I thought it was the weaker of the episodes until I watched it the second time.
Dude, it's
It
such a
improved-
good episode.
It improved so much more on the second viewing. So
Yeah,
if you
all
only watched
just
it
the
once,
little
watch it again.
things.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. Podcast at the Crossroads is the highlight of my Monday evening. Dude, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. This is like the highlight of my, I was about to add that. This is the highlight to my evening. I love doing this with you guys.
Do you think that's mushroom?
Ooh. Nah, ooh.
Mm.
I mean, I don't want to be every little person has to be mushroom, but
We don't want a profile.
yeah, that's it. I couldn't think of it.
It's either that or they think it's Tyrion. Like they think we're dumbasses.
Group hug. A grow
Grow
pug.
pug.
Whoa.
Way more fun. Those are way more fun.
Yeah, pretend like you didn't mean it, right? Okay. Yeah, guys.
Did
I
you
had a
picture
ball.
that? God.
Yeah, Shane. Shane. Who the fuck is Shane? I meant to say Zach.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Shane. I was looking at Shane. That's why. Dude, that was weird. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired. I hope so. Sorry, Shane. I love you the most. Zach, tell them where they can find you with your big 10,000K channel.
yeah. You go.
Not jealous. Oh, that's Grant. My bad.
Sure, that's
That's
fine too. Go check me out at you can search Zaxx7 and on YouTube it'll take you right to me. And I just put a video out today that I think fixes Rings of Power, at least the intro of it, the opening credits. So please go watch that video. It's 40 seconds. You've got
Ooh.
40 seconds.
Share it in the chat so everybody can
did.
see it. Okay.
A lot of
shared
important
it.
things happen in 40 seconds.
That's right.
Dude, 40 seconds is a really long time. I'm telling you. I
That's
swear.
twice. You can go twice in 40 seconds.
Give you 10 seconds to cuddle afterwards.
Yeah, or cry. Mason.
Hi. Thanks to all you guys in the chat for listening to us. Yeah, I had a good time talking about this episode. You can
Yeah,
find
we're-
my YouTube channel at Freefolk of Fandom. You can follow me on the Twitters and stuff. Yeah, I'll see you guys here next week. I'll do some live shows like right after Rings of Power and House of the Dragon. I go live. So yeah, you can come check me out on my channel.
Nice. Mason, you're killing it, man. You're getting so much smoother at doing live shows too since even the beginning of this. So really good work, man. Get to the 100 if you want to be. Guys, if you want Mason here for the 10th episode review, season finale, you better get him to 100 subs. It's the cutoff. Grant, do you want to say anything? Because I'm leaving the lady for last.
Okay, yeah, well, you can find me anywhere where Scott's doing shorts all by himself from now on, as he stated earlier.
Oh shit.
So, but yeah, no, just I'll be around, and yeah, I'm over the moon that I can actually talk about something that I really like. That's good. On top of that I'm happy to be wrong about with certain things that I can overlook. The things that I normally wouldn't be able to overlook if a show's good enough, I can overlook them. And it's no Batwoman, put it that way.
Yeah, you know what, Jayne? This show proves to everyone who says we just hate that we can see things that we know, okay, that's not canon, and still be like, well, it's good enough that I don't give a crap.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about entertainment and escapism and good quality writing and good set design and just the whole package. Just because fans criticize one aspect of a show doesn't mean we hate the whole thing, unless the whole thing sucks.
Yep.
In the case of Rings of Power, where there's nothing to be found of any quality. So yeah, I think it does. Now they're in a position where they're having to try to explain somehow why it is that this show is doing so well and their garbage isn't.
Yeah,
which I find fun.
And you can find good content at Jayne Theory.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at Jayne Theory, where I talk about movies and television reviews and some pop culture commentary.
Thank you, Jayne, and good luck on.
You'll be on
Nerdrotic.
Gary's stream next week.
I will be on Gary's after show this Sunday.
Yeah, well, talk shit to him until he shows up on Monday the next day. We love Gary. He is the patron saint of this channel. He is a good man, and best friends, whatever. That's why I don't want to use his channel because it's like, Gary, dude, stop calling me type shit. But anyways, don't watch this, Gary, please. I love you all. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for coming out. I had a ball. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Really, Grant, thank you. The shorts are gaining new subscribers. I hope you like the streams we do. Don't hold my Wednesday stream against me, Mad Runs, because it's just mad and I have no control over that. And hopefully next week we'll have an updated Crossroads opening, right, Grant? Because this one's last episode one.
101 likes.
101.
Yeah, I'll also this is the part of the thing in each intro where we start begging Gary even harder, like, come on, Gary, 3 more to go, 2 more to go. Why aren't you here? And then the last one will just everybody's face will be Gary. Yeah, well, all our avatars will be Gary. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Will next week's intro have Sir Christian Cole and Rhaenyra going ham at it?
Oh, wow. maybe her grabbing his helmet. I don't know.
I'm clearly Team Daemon, so.
Team Daemon, I'm Team Cole, I'm Team Mushroom. I don't know. We'll figure that out next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Now Gary shows up.
It's the intro and outro. There he is. There he is.
It goes both ways.
I got 10K. Ha ha ha.
That was so sad.
That was.
Yes.
That was awesome. Nutty.
Freaking epic.
It really was. Good night, everybody. Oh shit, I hit the wrong button.